I need that sports encyclopedia. U.S. Steve Kim. Got Trent in the cut.
What a you?
He's the best.
Yeah.
He's a master motivator.
I'm a master motivator. I ain't no regular ass motivator. I'm a fucking master.
Coaches tried to make practice so hard that the game was less intrusive. Like they coached you that way. Like people think, well, they were just yelling. No, they were trying to put you under stress and put you in under duress so that when you got in the game, you could mentally handle adversity.
If you go through JUCO and you make it out of JUCO, you can make it anywhere.
I respect the hell out of you to see that you're doing what you're doing and still doing what you're doing for real, the way you do it, man. You said from day one you had the same enthusiasm. You keep the same enthusiasm, and it's fucking contagious.
In my opinion, I think Shedeur Sanders is the best deep ball in college football. I don't think
Can you just say something nice about Shedeur Sanders?
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
And I'll proudly stand up next to you all. God bless America.
You said belt to ass, T-Red. You got the belt around you.
Yeah, we are in the building on the ones and twos. It is Merciless Monday. I'm taking no mercy on the Coach AB show with Big Smitty. Go to CoachABstore.com. Go get you some new merch. I got this new beanie. And you got to be shitting me if you can't go get this shirt. We are live in the building. It is Eric Weddle, Super Bowl champ Monday. However, Eric will not be on the show. Mr. Weddle today. He'll be on this week, though. He is taking the family snowboarding. So he just called me right before the show. He did send me a text message from Shaun McVay, though. And they locked up the West in the NFC. And he's all for the smoke. Shaun McVay wants it. So it's a very good, interesting text. So E-Dub, Eric Weddle Monday will be postponed till E-Dub, Eric Weddle Friday this week as he's taking the fam to snowboarding. But however, we do have some special guests joining us today. Steve Kim, normal Tuesday appearance will be today because he wants some no mercy, Merciless Monday smoke regarding this Cam Ward situation. Who better to have on than Steve Kim? Unless we get Cam Ward on. So that'll be a whole nother discussion. I'll break that down here in a second. But we got a lot to discuss here on this Merciless Monday, powered by BetUS. So head on over to BetUS today and use the promo code CoachJB. We are live in the building on X, on TikTok. We're everywhere. Short, fat, skinny, tall. We are everywhere that you can find the show. So pound that like, subscribe, become a member. I'm sure this show will be an entertaining one because we got a lot going on today, and let's dive right into it. Cam Ward electing not to go into the game is a huge topic in the sports world today. I have firsthand insight into this topic that I would like to break down. Before we do that, let's bring in our main man, our Far East Sider 317, LeBron hairline having, AR5 defending, Lamar Jackson loving, Fox Sports very own, Big Smitty. Let's bring him in first right out the gate.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
I got to have you on first, Smitty. You would address the crowd if you want. You could address the chat. I don't know why I can't retweet nothing today. It's always something, man. This morning it's always something. Hey, Smitty, my camera looks normal to you?
It looks clear, looks perfect. Better than it's ever looked before.
because it's flipped on my end.
It look way better. Keep it flipped. Keep it flipped.
My shit is backwards to me, though.
We don't care about your vision. We care about what the viewer can see. And from my view, your shit looks better than it's ever looked before ever.
I just hope that YouTube doesn't flip it.
Nah, YouTube is fine, man. I got my chat with me, man. Gene is in here. We got Dana in here. We got Snake Plissken in here to send us some money. We got who's this? Alex Pod. We got Mike Has Bad Knees, DJ KCBD, D Jones, and Silent Tripod. They say the camera looks great, so it looks great. And it's Monday, and I can't wait to drop this Cam Ward topic, man. You got the whole streets sending me messages, asking me, about the video you made.
Uh-oh. Just got a text message from Cam Ward's people.
What they
said I'll know right here shortly. So here, let me break this down so everybody understands what's going on. Cam Ward electing not to go into the game is a huge topic in the sports world, Smitty, as we all know.
Yep.
I don't know why, Smitty, when I showed you and texted you the messages, why Cam Ward's folks reached out to me after a video that I posted. Let's give you a little context, Bailey. Does Bailey, you got that Twitter video?
Yeah, he does.
Let's show the video and show everybody what went viral yesterday as I was sitting here on a Sunday.
What up, man? It's the real Coach JB. Listen, everybody's hitting me up about this Cam Ward situation, man. Listen, here's the problem. I didn't watch the game because it just is worthless. College football is a joke. I was on the fucking yacht chilling. But this is what I have to say. I think the rules in the NCAA have put this cat and so many others in a bad predicament from allowing them to even play a half of a game or not. That's number one. Number two, I'm choosing violence today because these kids have zero character, no integrity, and could care less about their team or their institution. That's why they go to 4 different institutions in a matter of 4 years. They could give a fuck less what's on that diploma. They chasing a bag. And we've allowed that. The grown men in the rooms have allowed and enabled these kids to become entitled beyond belief. And don't suit up. That's the issue I have with this. Do not fucking suit up at all. Don't give you a reason to even go out there and say, oh, I'm going to break a record. And then fuck you guys who I've rode with all year long because we lost a few games because our defense is so bad. And listen, here it is. There's the bottom line. The truth of the matter is you don't want to hear. Selfish fucks is what this game is all about right now. They're all fucking selfish. They could give a fuck less about their team, their players, their staff, their team, their university. It is what it is. You all allowed it instead of coached it. And it's a mockery at this point. And shame on us, man, for allowing these kids to do what they do. Chase a bag, pay for play, and this is what you get. I would never have let them suit up if I was a head coach. I wouldn't even allow them to suit up if that was the agreement. Fuck that. We're here to win a game, and you're getting a lot of money. NIL money means pay to play. Fucking play what I pay you for. It's that simple. This is a mockery. It's getting out of hand, and it's a joke, and it's hard to watch. I won't watch it right now. But my personal opinion is, he knew Shedeur Sanders was playing later in the day. He wanted to one-up Shedeur. Oh, I'll play just because I know he's going to play, and then I'll just sit out the second half after I break the record. Shit is a joke, man. It's a mockery, and it's a slap in the face to his coach, his staff, his teammates, and everybody else that pay to watch him play as Miami fans. Absolute joke, man. But don't miss the Coach JB show tomorrow with Big Smitty.
Smitty, that was my take. I want to be clear. That ruffled some feathers, apparently, with Mr. Ward and Mrs. Ward, Cam's father and mother. Not in a bad way, though. Apparently, the father of Cam Ward is a fan of mine, and we have several mutual friends we did not know. And they got my cell number, Smitty, and called me directly. I'm like, who is this? They left me text messages after I ignored the call because I didn't know the number. And it was Cam Ward's agent, his father, and his mother, who I spoke to for about 45 minutes yesterday on a 4-way conversation. So let me break down why they called me. I have no idea. The video went viral. It's viral on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. I get it. It is what it is. Why they called me, I don't know. I told them that, hey, pleasure to speak to you guys. But I want to be clear, Smitty, on the video we just looked at.
Yeah.
That was my perspective perspective as if I were a coach or a player. I didn't attack Cam because I know a coach that coached Cam at Incarnate Word. I know a coach that coached Cam at Wazoo. I had several players that were teammates of Cam's at Wazoo. I know everything I've heard is a great kid. Here's the issue. I had a 30-minute conversation with his dad and his mom last night, plus their agent, who's texting me now. They are willing to come on the show this morning. I'm waiting on to see if they're going to be able to make it. They're off 2 hours sleep from the bowl game to back home to Texas, and then they're flying again that last night, I guess, on a red eye. They are all gung-ho to come on the show. I told them to come on, explain it. We're the first show smoking. I'm sure McAfee's and everyone else's bigger shows will take it from here, but we're the first one. If you want to have a real conversation, since you think I'm real and you respected me enough to call me, come on the show. I would never put you in a negative light. I said I'll be honest with you. But I had a conversation with them both, and so they may be joining us, the mother and the father, and I talked to Cam with them. If they can find time, like I said, they may be joining us here in the next 15, 20 minutes. Cam's dad and mother have been on the defense of their son, as they should be, ever since ESPN and other outlets posted like basically said Cam quit on the team before ESPN or anybody else did any deep dive, all right? I was on the boat, Smitty. I didn't even watch the bowl game. I'm getting blown up like Cam quit, didn't want to enter the game, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, whatever. I'm laughing on the boat because I see Steve Kim posted a tweet, and I didn't know they lost by 1 point. So I'm on the boat getting some and I was like,
some what?
I'm laughing, Smitty. I'm like, oh hell, Steve Kim, they lost. So I'm just laughing, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't post anything. I didn't care. You all call it meaningless bowl game. So guess what? The fans are gonna say it's meaningless. I'm not gonna watch it. So I posted my thoughts as to what I would or wouldn't allow as a head coach or a player in that video we just watched. That was what I want to be clear on what I said. It wasn't no personal attack on Cam Ward. I said this is what everybody does if you listen to the video. His dad is a fan of mine and reached out. We had a good talk with him and his agent. His agent is actually Eric Weddle's first agent. So there's a lot of mutual relationships involved. The mother is a great woman. I talked to her as well. I told him it's nothing personal. I know coaches who coach Cam, and I've had a lot of people tell me he's a great kid and they love him, and I'm taking my buddy's word on it. Right. My take, however, is what I would have done, Smitty, if I were the coach or the player when I played. That's all it was. So I want to be clear as to what I said. We just showed the video with Bailey. I don't want to hear it's about injury risk, though, because it's a oxymoronic take if you're going to defend. And I'm just letting Smitty know and everybody know from the gate, do not come at me about it's a risk injury issue, because I have something for you. He played the first half to break a record. Please don't pee on me and tell me it's raining either, guys. And that's what I told the parents, homie. I'm just being honest. We know he played to break a record. And the fact that he wanted the other QB to play, which was what the parents' explanation to me is, right, fine and dandy. It's fine and dandy. You can, okay. But it has nothing to do with the fact that I wouldn't have suited up if I was the player or the coach. I'm all about records and all that and accolades. But you wouldn't have suited up if it wasn't about those records and those accolades, Cam Ward. Don't pee, homie. Don't pee on me and tell me it's raining. I'm just going to keep it funky. Just say I wanted to break the record and then I was done. That was the agreement. Just say that, though. And then everybody shuts up. Don't say it was about there was a deal because this is what the dad told me, dog. And I'm not going to put too much business out there in confidence. But the dad told me, regardless if the kid threw 0 touchdowns or 5, he wasn't going to play in the second half. That's what the dad told me. I don't understand why you suit up then. Hey,
real quick, JB.
Go ahead.
Not to cut you off. But in response to that comment, you said he only played in the first half to break the record. I know you weren't watching the game, so just to give you some more context, he actually broke the record in the first quarter with like 4 minutes left. He threw a touchdown. I think it was the Jacoby George, I want to say, for a touchdown, and that was the 156th touchdown that actually broke the record. So he could have set out from that point on. He played the rest of the first half when it had nothing to do with the record. So just to give you a little bit of pushback, I don't think it was 100% just the record. Because if that was the case, at that point he's done. First quarter, he's out. He played the whole first half, got 3 touchdowns, got the rhythm going, and then he set out. Listen, me as a player, I don't sit out. I mean, let me start there. As a competitor, knowing how competitive I am, I don't sit out. I was talking to my homeboy the other day, one of my teammates, he's a coach now, and we were just kind of talking about the situation. And I told him, I said, listen, we also didn't play in this era. So it's easy for me right now with my brain to be like, no way, no how do I sit out. You know, we played the whole season. Like going to a smaller school too, bowl games were everything. Now going to Miami, maybe to them, Pop-Tart Bowl or whatever means nothing to them. It's like it's probably natty or nothing, and I get that. But for a lot of other teams, like growing up, you made to a bowl game, that was an accomplishment. You want to finish the season with the bang. You know, it don't matter if you had a 7-5 year or 10-2 year, whatever the case may be. Let's finish what we started with your teammates, with your brothers. That's my natural mindset. But I do also can take a step back and understand that, hey, this guy's going to be maybe the number 1 overall pick, number 2 overall pick, whatever the case may be. And I'm sorry, JB, I got to bring it up. But yeah, in the event that he goes out there and breaks his leg in the second half, who's gonna give him that money that he misses out on now? Who's gonna take care of him that way? Like, so it's easy for us on the outside to just be like, oh, fuck it, you know, go play, da, 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 da. But like, I'm not in his shoes. I've never been in his shoes.
I told you don't bring that up, dog. I'm gonna make you look bad, homie. I'm just telling you. You shouldn't have did it. I tried to give you a chance beforehand. Don't bring up injury.
Hold on, last thing. I know you about to go in. Last thing. It's just like in the NFL. A lot of the top teams in the preseason, they may play a quarter, they may play a half, but they don't play the full game. Why? Because they don't want to risk something crazy happening. Let them play long enough to get them going, get their feet wet, and then they take a step back. Right here, I think he wanted to play the first half, 1, to break the record, of course. 2, to just try to give them a good, lead, good energy going long enough to where now when he passed the keys over to the backup guy who ain't played all year long, he would have enough railway, whatever word you want to use, to be able to win that game. Now, obviously, it didn't go in their favor. It lost by 1 point, but I think that was the mindset. Again, I wouldn't have done it, me, personally, but just because I wouldn't have done it doesn't mean I don't understand another perspective. But go ahead, JB.
I told people don't bring up the injury thing because I'm going to prove to you guys it's an oxymoronic take. I don't agree with the NFL take you made either. I get your point, a fair one, but I don't agree with the NFL takes either about playing a quarter and not this next one and all that. Don't play at all. Here's the issue I have with this particular situation and this whole injury take, and I've been murking cats on Twitter about it, and their own selves that come up with it. When I say this, they're like, you got a point, JB. Here's the issue. Then why did you play the first half, Smitty? Don't tell me you're worried about getting injured in the second half if it wasn't about a record. Please, I had to tell the daddy that. The daddy even got quiet, homie. So in the first half, Smitty, when I was going after the record, injuries had no issue at all.
In the first quarter, JB.
Hold on, though.
Kept playing.
I suited up, right? I suited up to go get a record. Why is injury not an issue then, homie? So injuries now all of a sudden kicked in after I broke the record, and now in the second half I can't play because I'm going to get injured? Then why did you play the first half, homie?
But the longer you play, JB, the more at risk you are. Like that. Like, come on now, we know that.
Playing that game, homie. We got to stop playing the game and call it what it is. We got to call a spade, a circle, and a square. He wouldn't have suited up if it wasn't about a record, homie. Because if it was about getting injured, then he wouldn't have played at all. Don't bring up the fact that, all of a sudden now, in the second half, he could get hurt. But it wasn't about getting hurt in the first half when he got the record. I'm confused, homie. So when he stepped on that field, he's risk adverse when he stepped on the field when he suited up. Is he not? Just like you and I were when we played, right?
Of course, 100%, yes.
then don't tell me it's not about a record and I'm going to have to go do it regardless if I throw 0 touchdowns or 5, homie. If that was the record, if that was the case, if I threw 0 touchdowns or 5, then I wouldn't have played at all. Come on, homie. It makes 0 sense. And then you bring up the injury part of this whole thing, which everybody's using today in their narrative, and they don't remember the fact that the kid suited up and played the first half. So if you did that, don't tell me you're worried about second half injuries. So second half injuries are much greater than first half injuries in football, homie. Come on, Smitty. It sounds ridiculous. You know it does too. Let's keep it funky. You play the first half, Smitty, then you know you're all in. It's not 1 foot in, 1 foot out, homie. We're fucking all in if we're going to play or don't play. If it wasn't about – I'm hearing a lot of contradictory stories, Smitty, from everybody involved. It's not about the records, but I'm going to play the first half, regardless if I throw 0 or 5 touchdowns. Okay, that's kind of contradictory. Second half, I don't want to get injured. So if I don't want to blow my NFL money, well, then why did you play the first half? And then I'm like, well, see what I'm saying, Smitty? It ain't adding up, homie. It doesn't make sense. So don't play at all. Let Emory Jones play the whole game. That was what you guys talked about. Or you play the game because here's my thing, Smitty. The game was a 1-point loss and you had a chance to go in the game. Now we're discussing injury. You just played the first half. Now you don't want to go in and get our team the victory, down 1, and now it's about injury, homie. Your feet are already wet, Smitty. It's like I don't want to put my shoes on because my feet are already wet. Well, then go in, right? We tell our kids to go in the water then. Like, it does not make sense whichever way you spin it.
But JB, like,
don't go play.
To me, what you're explaining though is what life is, and especially today's age of players. Like, he probably was indecisive. He probably this whole week was like, "Damn, man, like I want to be out there and play with my teammates, but I definitely don't want to risk getting hurt." He got agents in his ear telling him he probably shouldn't play, managers in his ear telling him he shouldn't play, parents probably telling him one thing, but at the same time, he want to go out there with his teammates. He wants to break the record. He got all this information coming in.
Keep going.
So for him, he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna play first half, get the record." Get my team momentum going. I'm gonna pass it to our back quarterback who ain't played all year long. Allow him to go out there, play in front of his family, and then hopefully we can win the game. That was a mindset that I believe he had. He went in there with a lukewarm mindset. God said, "Don't be lukewarm." He didn't know what to do, so he kind of went in the middle.
Yeah. Let me stop you though. I gotta stop you before you keep going. When do football players, you and I, when we play, get injured most?
When you're not playing full speed.
You can't go in lukewarm, homie. Can't go into a game lukewarm situation. You can't talk to me about playing quarterback or football and talking about I'm going to go in there with a lukewarm mindset and not be injured. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. We keep that. My point is, homie, we're finding ways to defend this shit. It's like, it's real simple. I look at Coach Cristobal, number one, and I respect Coach, and I've known him a long time. Hold on, sorry. All right, here's the message. TikTok, hold on. I'm talking to Cam Ward here. Coach, they like to join at a later date if possible. They appreciate the opportunity. As today they are unable to join. Appreciate you, man. So, not coming on today. So, they are watching the show right now and said much respect. Here's the thing. Mr. and Mrs. Ward, come on this week if you want, if you can. I'd love to talk to you. I just told them, let us be the first show to have you guys on. That's all I said.
Yep.
So I said, and Mr. Ward said he respects me enough to where we'll be the first show that they come on. So let's have that happen this week. Here's the issue. First of all, Smitty, you know me and everyone else knows me enough. Do you think I'm really going to make up a Cam Ward story and say it out loud on public air? And like, I'm making this up, you fucking idiots.
Right. I saw the comment. I was like, how are you going to say that to me?
Like, yeah, I'm just making it up so Cam and everybody can tweet and say, JB, nobody knows you. You fucking idiots. God damn, like, I'm that dumb. But anyway, Smitty, I hopefully they come on. Here's the issue. you can't go half-assing in this game, man. It's like driving NASCAR.
I'm just saying that from my vantage point. I think that's what the kid was thinking. That's what Cam was thinking. I think he's like, damn, you gotta imagine, man. This guy got 1,000 people in his ear right now. Come this way, go this way, go do this, don't do that. So I really think he was just like, man, let me go down the middle. Let me play a little bit. You know what I mean? Help my team out a little bit, break this record. Go, like I'm not saying he went on the field with a halfway mindset, like I'm gonna go out here and just play around. Like, nah. I think I watched the game. Like first half, he was Cam Ward. He was playing normal Cam Ward. He was out there lackadaisical. But I think he knew I'm gonna play one half. And then if I break the record, cool. If I don't, cool. But I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take a step back because the longer you play, the more you play, the more at risk you are to get hurt. If you play football long enough, you will get hurt. We all know that. I played forever with no injury when I got hurt going to my senior year. We gotta
stop defending though. You play football. We gotta stop defending if you play.
I'm telling you what I think the mindset was. I told you I wouldn't have done it. That was my opening statement.
I know. I'm just saying though, we can't defend it on the other side. Then you got to be all in or all out as a guy analyzing it as well, like me. I'm not defending the kid at all. I like the kid. I've known great things about him. I know players that play with him, coaches that coach him. Great kid. Okay. The issue I have is I can't go out here and defend him just because he's a good kid either. Don't play at all, because here's the issue, Smitty, as a player and as a coach. First of all, with Coach Cristobal, let's talk about that. Steve Kim will join us at 8 o'clock. Steve will join us at 8. Bailey, if you could email Shaun the link and let him know 8:30 to end the show, if you can. And Matt will join us here in about 30 minutes. So we got to load the show without E-Dub today. E-Dub will join us Friday. But here's the thing, Smitty. We can't bring up the fact that you and I know as a coach, the leadership needs to go into this game all-in mindset. All right, man, we're going to go win this bowl game. A good Iowa State team won 10 games, played for their conference title game. We didn't get to do that. So they're going to be a serious opponent. This is the game plan. Cam not going to play. We're going to get Emory Jones ready to go for next season. A good young quarterback prospect. We're going to go with him. Oh, fuck it, let's go, Coach. Woo! So right then, I know who's in and who's not. I know by the team meeting, Smitty. I'm addressing the team. I've had these discussions. Hey, man, I'm going to bring Malik Henry back. This is the situation. Oh. If I see that, which I saw certain guys, now I know the approach I need to take. If I see, hell yeah, let's go, Coach, fuck it. Then I know, all right, here it is. Now, let's go here. All right, guys. Cam's going to play the first half. He's going to go after a record. If he gets the record, he's going to come out of the game, and we're going to play Emory. If he don't get the record, he's going to possibly play. Homie, where's my team?
Said, though, James. So no, I gotta stop you because again, the record was broke 4 minutes left in the first quarter. So
no. What do you mean? That was what was said, homie. I'm telling you, this is Thursday night. This is Thursday night, Smitty, in the team meeting. What do you mean? This is what was said. What happened in the game is not what I'm talking about. I'm the coach, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, I got you.
If he breaks the record, he'll come out, guys. So I'm asking you as a player, Smitty, you've been in these meetings.
Yeah.
What is your now thought process? Go back 10 years. Don't talk about this generation.
No, I'm with
Let's talk
I'm
about.
like, all right.
All right, so what are we doing? So what are we doing? What are we doing? Is Cam going to play? What if it's a tight game? I mean, if I'm the players, I'm like, whoa, what are we doing? Now Emory's going to be in. To me, it's like you're shuffling card decks, homie, and you don't know which one your players are on. You can't be a leader like that. So I'm talking directly at Cristobal right now. You can't be that guy and be a half. You can't go in, half-stepping in this thing. As the leader of men, it either needs to be, hey, Cam is done, and let's do a celebratory thing on a Thursday. You know how we used to do in the team meeting. Hey, man, go be the first-round pick, blah, blah, blah. Appreciate what you've done. Whoop-de-whoop, and make it that, and then let's rally behind Emory, and I bet you that game's not even close because Miami's more talented. They go out and they win that game by 10 or more. But we got this gray area discussion where, hey, Cam's going to suit up. Then he's going to take his shit off if he gets the record. not literally or figuratively. I'm just giving you a figuratively answer. He's going to take his shit off, chill on the sideline with us, and now let's go win the game. You see what I'm saying? There's a huge message discrepancy, Smitty, and I just can't. You cannot do it as a head coach. I'm not questioning Cristobal. I'm just giving you my opinion on Cristobal. I wouldn't have allowed it as the head coach. It would have been one way or the other. Hey, Cam, on the sideline in fatigues, or you're on the sideline in Miami uniform and gear, and we're gonna play to win. Because I don't understand. Because I'm doing this, Smitty. Cam, we paid you $8 million. This is the last check I got from the collective. Cam, this is that new Cadillac they got you. Hey, homie, this is that condo on the beach they gave you, right? So I'm gonna need you to motherfucking play, homie. I'm gonna need you to motherfucking play, because that's what pay for play is. It's fucking real simple, homie. I don't know why we're discussing this shit, homie. Y'all want to be professionals on one side, but now over here we're amateurs. We're just kids, coach. We don't know. Fuck that. You want the $8 million, homie? I'm just telling you, we cannot keep talking about this like this, Smitty. You can't, homie. You got to be all in or the fuck out. I'm tired of hearing this half-assing and half-stepping, dog. You got to either be all in or all out. I paid you to win me every game you played during your tenure at my university. That should be in the contract.
Not a contract, though. Sign it.
Well, but that's not my discrepancy. That should be an already done thing. I don't know anybody as stupid as this, Smitty, to give a 18 to 25-year-old kid multi-millions of dollars and not hold them to the fire. Whoever's doing that, shame on you.
Yeah, it's happening, though.
I'm just telling you, shame on you. Because I said in my video that's going viral, Smitty, blame the adult. Did I not?
Yeah.
I didn't say blame Cam Ward. I didn't say blame these guys. Blame the adults. But that's the problem, homie. You can't sit here because I got receipts. I got receipts. And you cannot fight that argument, homie. We're paying you $8 million. Like, it doesn't make sense not to play. But here's the thing, Smitty. How pissed off are you as a teammate, coach, or administrator that knows Cam Ward's getting a lot of money and then doesn't finish the game with his team that he's been riding with the whole time, and knowing he rides away in a Bentley, goes off to the NFL, and has already made a killing in college. And I'm the 99th percentile, just so we clear. I'm Darnell Smith. I'm Jason Brown. I'm Bailey. I'm all these guys sitting on the bench in there that are 99 percenters, Smitty. We're in the 99 percentile that makes under a certain dollar amount. We don't make the millions. We're making thousands, if that.
Right.
I'm pissed, homie. Like, hold on, dog. Like, you can't finish
that's
the
the part
season
we
with me.
disagree. Me personally, I'm not counting my teammates' money, because at the end of the day, if I was a better player, then I'd be in that position to make that money. But I'm not, so I can't compare myself to.
But you can't compare yourself. You can't compare yourself. But we're talking 90 other players that's just fact.
I mean, obviously went on NIL, but I mean, it was certain teammates and stuff who got certain perks that I didn't get, or somebody didn't get, or I got certain perks at certain times that other players didn't get, whether it was money or other things. So like, that's the part I disagree with you on. I don't really care about the money, but as a competitor, I would be like, damn, man, like, I want to win. At the end of the day, that's who I was. I hate losing. So at the end of the day, if you on this field, you my teammate, and if our best chance of winning is having you in the game with us, that's what I want. I had a teammate who didn't play our bowl game. Actually, he was getting ready for the draft. And I'm like, damn, man, like, I understand why he's doing it. I understand, but I'm not happy about it because I want to win this game.
Hey, Smitty, when's the last time Miami won a bowl game?
I don't know.
Does anybody know? I don't know either. I'm just asking.
Who knows?
I'm curious. Steve will know. I'm curious only because that's another factor to me. Like, I chose. Here's what I told the dad, and he kind of got quiet on this. I said, sir, you left Wazoo to go to Miami to win the same amount of games. Have you thought of that? Has anybody thought of that? You left Wazoo to go to Miami to win the same amount of games. Let's keep it all the way funky, homie. That is what people don't want to sit there and talk about. We are moving too much. And that's a whole other discussion. I don't want to get into that. We got time for that later. But I'm just saying, think big picture, dog. You went to Miami for what then? Just a bag? Because Miami hasn't won a bowl game in 8 years.
Right.
You chose to go to Miami, leave Wazoo, who just won 9 games as well or whatever, 8-9 games. So Miami won 1 more game. So you left there to win 1 more game. All right, let me be clear. So then, what did I go there for? So I didn't go there to win a bowl game for my guys.
Bigger program, more visibility, bigger bag, and the opportunity.
Again, you're telling me, Smitty, you're proving my point. This is why I went there. Yeah. That's what I'm. Yeah, that's my point, homie.
Yeah,
so
that's what it is. I mean,
what you're telling me, and it's great conversation. What you're telling me now is then there is no hope. Hope is lost.
I'm saying when they're transferring for their own selfish needs, of course. Like
then you're telling me it's a sad. No,
I'm saying even
no, it wasn't. It's not. Don't tell me it's always been that, homie. It's not always been that, Smitty. Smitty, it's not always been that. I was going to Miami to play with Darnell Smith because we were on DMs and I created a bond with him. I know he's telling me the culture's right. I could win in Miami. That's why we went there, homie. I never went there because, I'm going to go throw for 4,000 yards and I got more light on me. This is my point, Smitty. You're making my point, Smitty. Thank you, homie. No, I get what you're saying, but listen real quick and I'll let you cook. You're making my point. Cam Ward went into a football game to attain a record. He did not go back in the game once the record was attained. You are telling me that you are going to that school for selfish reasons now. You're making my point as to why he didn't go back in the game. This is why I'm so saddened by college football right now. You're telling me this is what it is. It's a selfish ideology. That's what we're playing football for now in college, to chase a bag down, to attain self-records, self-accolades, certain things. And I'm not going there no more for a certain amount of teammates that I've become cool with. I'm not going there to win me a bowl game that this school hasn't won in 8 years. And then I'm not going there to win a natty. I'm going there to self-direct my stock in the draft and my bag. There is a fundamental issue with that thinking, and that is what is ruining college football in the very front of our eyes. And I'm going to be honest, Smitty, on the flip side of that, Smitty, the administrators, the coaches, and the collectives can't sit here and accept that without a contract. Because without that, I as a collective am paying Cam Ward to win me games and a natty, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
There's 2 things going on, Smitty. The collectives are paying these kids, but you just told us the kids' thought process, and it's a selfish one. So how am I going to go in here and think this way, but yet these guys are going to pay me to win me a bowl game for my institution who hasn't won in 8 years? And then the kid doesn't play in the second half. There's a fundamental breakdown on the 2 parties that I don't think anyone else has talked about on any other show. So I'm glad that this conversation is being had, because we got a problem, Houston, and it's coming from collectives and coaches to the players that are going to schools for selfish reasons. There's a huge issue here, and we got to break that down at some point during the week in an even deeper detail, in a deeper dive, because it's a very interesting one. I'm just seeing it on both sides, dog, because they haven't won a game in 8 years, Smitty. If I went to Miami to win a game, I would be like, let me get this win, coach. Like, we don't think about being injured, Smitty. But see, now we're talking about it so much in the media that it's become a thought process now. Oh, JB, what if he gets hurt in his jab drop? You get hurt walking your fucking doggy, homie. Let's stop with that shit. So you played the first half, not an issue. But now I can't go in. I played 11 games already, Smitty, but not an issue. Like, come on, man. We got to stop, homie. When you start thinking about injuries is when you get injured. Just tell you.
I hear you, man. Listen, I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, too. So let's transition real quick before we lose too much time and forget. Let's get
finish my lead in. Go ahead.
Let's get to the quote of the day, JB, because we got to get to the quote of the day. That's my favorite segment. And without the quote of the day, I can't do the show, really. So, quote of the day, JB, brought to you by Bet US. Say the rest right now. What do you get? People want to know.
Head on over to Bet US today. Get your 150%. I got a lot of people that went over there and used my promo code this past weekend and won. So shout out to a lot of you on Bet US. Use my promo code, Coach JB, and go over there and get a 150% bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit. Plus, you get insurance and protection. So head on over to Bet US today for Monday night's football game, as we'll be doing a segment later on to talk about Monday night football game. So go to Bet US today. Use the promo code Coach JB. Don't blame a clown for being a clown. Blame yourself for going to the circus. This is my point on the discussion we just had. Don't blame a clown for being a clown. Smitty, blame yourself for going to the circus. We keep blaming. I want to be clear here and just listen to my point on that quote. Miami fans across America who are out on the Twitter circuit today, bitching and moaning about your quarterback didn't play the second half and blah, blah, blah. Don't go to the circus, homie, if you want to watch a clown show. Stop going to the circus, homie. Stop paying for the circus, homie. I think Pat McAfee's going viral right now because he's like, I'm done with the Indianapolis Colts, Smitty.
He went in last night. He went in.
So he said, I'm not going to be part of the circus no more. I ain't going to pay for season ticket holders. And he's cool with the owner. He played there. Certain guys that are past a certain generation actually care about the organic nature of this sport and this business. And we don't talk about that enough. We only talk about the now and what kids want and what they deserve and what they need. No, we've enabled their asses. Now they're entitled, and now they gimme. And they don't want to give shit. So I'm just saying, that's the quote of the day.
I like that. It's powerful. I like that, JB.
Contrary to belief, Smitty, contrary to belief, brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over there too today. If you want any DFS picks, you can go get your DFS picks today. We'll give you some hot take DFS tonight. Monday night game. My promo code, Coach JB. Smitty, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future, contrary to belief.
Legendary. That's old school right there. That's legendary. That's a fact. That's the truth. Ain't nobody perfect. Bailey, you not perfect. I know you young. You've made mistakes in the past. You going to make mistakes in the future, young man. JB's made a lot of mistakes. I made a mistake. I'm making mistakes right now, probably. I'm going to make mistakes moving forward. But listen.
I just made that up. Nobody's ever heard that quote. I just made it up.
I've heard that millions of times in my lifetime.
I just made it up.
There's a Tyler Perry show that's called something like that.
I don't watch him.
Yeah, he woke. It's something. It's like a Saints and
let's dive into the. Hey, Smitty, poll question real quick. We got to dive into, and I got to ask you this because it's it's a debatable topic. I don't know. We got a few minutes before Matt. Smitty, is Joe Burrow the best player in the NFL? He just clearly
right now, homie.
Is Joe Burrow the best player in the NFL? Is my discussion to start the show off after we've already discussed the Cam Ward thing. Shout out to Cam Ward's parents and agent.
Yeah,
great conversation yesterday. We'll see if they jump on later on the show or this week. But is Joe Burrow the best player in the NFL? That is the question.
He's balling right now, and I watched that game, man. He's had what, like, I don't know what the number is, but it's like consecutive games with 3+ passing touchdowns, 250+ passing yards. You watched his last game the other night. The man was phenomenal. I think I tweeted out about how he looked and just the plays he was making. The way he's reading coverages, the accuracy of the ball, the position, like he looks amazing right now. And I would say he's the best player in the NFL. But the problem is, JB, is that he plays in the same exact league as that quarterback in Baltimore named Lamar Jackson. So, like, he's the best player in the NFL. So I can't put Joe Burrow over him because of what Lamar is doing too. And for some reason, people are sleeping on Lamar Jackson this year, and it's crazy to say that, but they really are. I think people have.
Who's sleeping on him? Nobody's
Lamar
sleeping on him.
Jackson right now. Lamar Jackson's having a phenomenal year, both running and throwing the ball with accuracy and precision like we've never seen before. So Joe Burrow is playing phenomenal. Probably number 2 right now, but no way he's above Lamar Jackson right now. Y'all just don't like Lamar.
It's Big Smitty.
I just don't want to give him his props. But I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna defend
Big
Lamar.
Smitty's my co-host, homie.
My odds work too, homie.
No, Big Smitty's my co-host. No, trust me, his name's Darnell Smith. It's not Ryan Clark, homie. It's Darnell Smith. He's my co-host, not Ryan Clark. What are you talking about?
Stop it.
What up, Smitty?
Stop it, Whitlock.
I said somebody was listening on the outside.
It's Jason Brown, homie. No, it's not Jason Whitlock. It's Jason Brown. Yeah, we good. Yeah.
They thought it was Ryan Clark was my co-host. I'm like, no, Ryan Clark would never be my co-host.
I didn't listen to I was talking to Jason Whitlock. And
let me ask you something. Let me ask you something real quick. I should have Jason call in right now. Let me ask you something real quick, Smitty. You watch both Bengals-Ravens games this year?
Yeah.
All right. So if you know football, which I think you do.
Don't lead with that. Don't lead with that. You ain't
Well, I said I think you do.
Don't lead with that. Don't do that.
Well, hold on, though. You watch those 2 games. Burrow clearly outperformed Lamar Jackson in those 2 head-to-head games. Smitty, it's not even close. Like, look at the stats, look at the numbers, look at everything.
Yeah.
Burrow and the Bengals had the Ravens beat twice, and guess who let them down? Not Burrow. The defense. The Bengals horrible. Bengals are horrific.
JB. Let me cut you off real quick.
I'm just saying, we're talking head-to-head.
You want to put the finger at everybody else. You want to point at organization, owner, head coach, defense, divas and receiver. People want their money.
Oh, I'm glad you're going this way.
But we don't point the finger at the leader of the team, who is Joe Burrow, who I'm a big fan of, by the way. But I'm saying we got to keep it all the way consistent, all the way funky. When I grew up, when it's Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger, when those guys were the elite quarterbacks of the league, Drew Brees, we never had to think about them missing the playoffs. That was never a thought. If Peyton Manning was healthy and all these guys, that was never even like I knew for a fact those elite quarterbacks was making the playoffs. But with Joe Burrow, for some reason, this guy ends up in this position every year. They start the season 1-4. 0-3, 1-5, and then he claws and scratches his way out of the hole, and then we praise him because, oh my gosh, they have a chance of making the wild card. Well, Lamar Jackson don't need a chance because he's won a fucking division. Every year he just wins the division. You got
to clarify though. You got to clarify.
Joe Burrow has to take blame for not doing enough and putting his team in this position. Josh Allen ain't got no help on that team. And look where they at. MVP candidate rolling right now, going to win a division.
That's why he's MVP.
Number 2 seed.
That's why he's MVP.
Got talent all around him, and they still fight for a damn playoff position. At some point, the finger got to go to Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but like you said, you've told me before on this show that Lamar don't play defense.
Cut that, Paris.
Keep cutting it though, Paris. Lamar don't play defense. You told me on this show. So Burrow does. I'm confused, homie. You said Lamar Jackson don't play defense.
Time out. You came on this show and told me the Baltimore Ravens defense this year is one of the worst defense of the year. That's a fact, homie. And they still winning. Because Lamar Jackson is better than the weak link. Lamar Jackson's greatness is better than their weakest.
I gotta ask you a question.
So, bro, obviously isn't.
I gotta ask you a question though. I've heard Ryan Clark, yourself, and these other race baiting folks on ESPN. I want to be not you. I'm just saying race baiters on ESPN. Race baiters on You're not in ESPN. The race baiters on ESPN have continued to say that Lamar Jackson fatigue is what we're saying. You said just a minute ago, you used the same take. You said Lamar Jackson fatigue. Please explain yourself on what that means.
Well, talking specifically on the MVP race, the fact that he's won 2 times already, just won last year, even though that he's clearly the MVP this year by stats, by you put everything together, the wins, everything, he's the clear MVP. we don't want to give it to him because he already won twice. He just won last year. It's kind of like the NBA with Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic probably should have won MVP again last year, but they wanted to give it to Joel Embiid because for so long they're like, Joel Embiid is almost there. He's almost there. He doesn't get it. But at the end of the day, Jokic should have been the MVP. Same thing right now. Lamar Jackson's the MVP, y'all. Like it is what it is. But they're gonna probably give it to Josh Allen because they like Josh Allen, and Josh Allen's having an MVP caliber season. So if he does win it, like we're all gonna be cool with it. But he's not having a better season than Lamar Jackson. If we keep it real, he's what 1 or 2 wins above him. So you can't say wins is like the whole thing because like if the Ravens was like 8-8 or something like that, or 8-7, whatever. Cool, I'm with you. But they're right there neck and neck. And they played each other, and the Ravens beat their ass, and Lamar outplayed Josh Allen when they saw each other. And his numbers are just better. Like, when you look at every other category, Lamar's literally better. But they're going to give it to Josh Allen because of the word fatigue. Voters are human beings. I know one of the voters that works at Fox. It's natural. They're humans like you and I, JB. So naturally, you care about storyline, you care about all that, and they're going to be tired of giving to the same guy. So that's what we mean by fatigue.
Well, we're talking about MVP, and we're talking about what he does for his team. That's kind of on the description. I'm actually looking at the NFL description for MVP. It's what have you done? What do you do for your team? Wins play a huge role, and head-to-heads and who you play against in the race. Okay, those are things that are on this description. Fatigue is the funniest word I keep hearing because last year Lamar Jackson was clearly outplayed, outperformed, and out-statisticked by Josh Allen and did not get the award. Josh Allen lost. Josh Allen lost to a guy that he clearly outperformed. So where is the fatigue when we're talking about Josh Allen last year clearly outperforming everybody in the NFL and Lamar Jackson's statistics? Hold on, put your hand down, homie. Statistically speaking, Lamar had one of his worst seasons last year, but won. Now it's fatigue? It makes zero sense. By the way, if we're just discussing the statistical part that you just mentioned, and what we're doing for our team, which is in the description on MVP in the NFL.
And wins.
So Josh Allen has 2 more wins.
Okay.
Josh Allen is neck and neck statistically, has double the rushing touchdowns and yardage, and he's right with them passing. Touchdowns, rushing.
Oh, okay.
Josh Allen.
Yardage. Well, I'm real big on words, so let's be very clear right here.
Total yardage. So here's the issue. I want to be clear. I want to know why a guy that's leading his team, Buffalo Bills, without Diggs, Gabe Davis, without any big name wide receiver whatsoever, why he is literally not being discussed as the best player for his team in the NFL right now. How is that quarterback fatigue? So now we're going to downgrade and water down Josh Allen's worth by saying we're not going to give him the award because Lamar fatigue has set in. That is a slap in the face to Josh Allen, homie. Josh Allen outperformed Lamar last year, didn't get the award, and now this year we're going to slap him in the back of the face when he wins it because it was fatigue. To me, that is what's wrong with football, dog. I'm just being honest.
Jason, are you ready?
Yeah.
So listen, you keep bringing up last year. Last year was probably the worst year in NFL history, at least in recent years, at the quarterback position. We all watched it. We're on the show every single week talking about how bad quarterback play was. You ended up having me agree with you, Matt agree with you. So last year was a down year. So yes, so Lamar's stats was not phenomenal. But I do recall, my eyes do work. The reason why Lamar won, he was the best player on the clearly best team in the league. And then every single big moment in the season, whether it was Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, I think it's the 49ers, who was the other best team in the league on the other side. He balled out, kicked their ass every single big moment. So that's why he won that over Josh Allen last year, because record-wise, it wasn't even close. And then every big moment, Lamar Jackson was that guy. That's why it was last year. This year is a totally different season. Quarterback play is high right now. We got Burrow balling, Josh Allen balling, Lamar Jackson balling, Matthew Stafford's playing solid, Sam Darnold's balling, Baker Mayfield's balling. Like this season's completely different. So we keep bringing up last year. Last year was an anomaly. You're right. Lamar's stats wasn't an MVP level stats, but most of the league was down. So that's what that was. This year, stats are up from everybody. So it's like, okay, when I'm voting for MVP, I got to look at the overall team success and record, which they're neck and neck. And Lamar plays in a much tougher division in the AFC North. I think we all can agree, compared to the AFC least, with the New York Jets, who are horrific, the Patriots, who are horrific, and the Dolphins, who are trying to fight for a playoff spot. Let's just keep it all the way real. Where you got the Ravens over here who've been fighting with the Steelers all year long for that top spot in the North. So that's number one. Number two, they faced each other face to face. We saw them play, and one guy got outplayed by the other, and one team destroyed the other. That's number two. Number three, they are close in stats, but Lamar's stats are better. Okay, so you got that. So you keep just stacking up the chips. Lamar is above Josh in more categories than Josh is above Lamar. So I just don't understand. Like, it has nothing to do with race at all. No, people know I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. Josh Allen's a football player. I don't call him a quarterback. He's a football player. He's an old school, tough, go do whatever you got to do for his team. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL. I'm just calling it what it is. This particular season, Lamar Jackson is playing better right now than he did in either of his MVP seasons. And scratch last year. Last year was an anomaly. Let's look at his first MVP where he was the clear guy who won it. This year is way better than that year. So I'm just saying, like, when you put it all together, listen, it's a close race. If Josh wins, I'm not going to be, like, pissed off. But I just think we put emotions to the side. Lamar is literally just having a better season than Josh Allen in a tougher division. And then last thing, you mentioned that Josh Allen doesn't have many big-time receivers out there. Lamar ain't got no big-time receivers. Zay Flowers is a young second-year guy who Lamar is helping turn into a star. He got Rashad Bateman, a guy who's playing solid. He was a top draft pick.
We got to end the conversation, homie. You're going to tell me that
he ain't got no Jamar.
Derrick Henry doesn't help Lamar Jackson?
Out there. You act like he got
Derrick Henry hasn't helped. I let you talk for 10 minutes straight. You're telling me Derrick Henry now doesn't help Lamar Jackson?
Oh, of course. We're talking about receivers.
No. Don't even talk about talent, homie. Lamar Jackson clearly has no talent.
The league, homie. No, fuck that. James Cook got 15 touchdowns.
You're out of your mind, dog. You're out of your mind.
You gonna listen to me.
James I already listened to you, homie, long enough. I listened to you long enough. I already listened to you long enough. I'm not listening to no more rhetoric. I'm not listening to no more fatigue. I'm fatigued of your ass talking about this motherfucker. This motherfucker's hyped. He's having the best year. I give him the credit. I give him the credit.
In a minute.
I give him the credit, homie. He's had the best year of Lamar Jackson's life. I've said it for many. Best year he's ever had.
He ain't a running back, is he? He ain't a
best year he's ever had.
He's a quarterback, ain't he? And you
not really, because he'll lose. He's gonna lose first round.
You're a hater.
He'll lose first round again. I mean, I didn't say it. He can't win a big game. He can't win a big game.
Okay.
So, I'm telling you, he can't win a big game. So when he wins the Super Bowl, he'll come back and talk to me. But I'm just telling you. And I'm gonna be honest with you again. I told you how I feel about Josh Allen, and I keep telling you he loses to who? Mahomes and Burrow. Until he beats one of them, he's not up there on my big-time board either. And as great as he is, he has to win the game when it counts, just like Lamar Jackson. I'm just telling you.
One quarterback that you like, and you don't even like him, Mahomes. If that's the case, ain't nobody winning but Mahomes. Who's winning? Who's winning right now but Mahomes? Who's winning?
What do you mean, right now, or who's won?
Who's winning? Who's winning? Okay, Stafford won one ring after playing
2. He's won the last 2.
Aaron Rodgers won one ring after playing 20 years. So, like, I mean, who do you fucking like then? If that's your argument, you like Mahomes. I guess you like Aaron Rodgers for what he did 10, 12 years ago, and you like Stafford for finally getting one after playing 15-some years. So you like 3 quarterbacks then, because ain't nobody else winning. Winning a Super Bowl is extremely hard to do, homie. And sometimes you can be great, but things don't go your way. We've seen all-time greats do it all the time. Dan Marino wasn't the real fucking deal because he didn't win it. Stop. He's a top 5 quarterback on your list. You already said on the show multiple times. I'm not going to let you do that, JB. I know you too well. Are we doing a commercial break, or are we going to wait for Matt? What are we doing? We going to keep it rolling? Let's keep it rolling there, man. What we got next, man?
Keep it rolling. Matt's supposed to come in. Matt's only got a few minutes, so we'll come in. Let's dive into this if Matt jumps on, let me just dive right into a take that I want to give you about Deion Sanders in Colorado. We saw one of your. Well, I don't know if he's still is Deshaun Jackson still on Fox?
I work with him on this podcast, but give your free opinion and get my opinion. But I work with him daily on this podcast. I tested him the other day.
Yeah. So he's a West Coast guy, Long Beach Poly, of course. I've been around him a long time.
Yes, sir.
And I like Deshaun. To my knowledge, he's coached like youth football and Snoop leagues and shit. I don't know if he's ever coached. But here's the Dion factor is real. The face of Dion being as famous and popular as he is has gotten, in my opinion, guys like Eddie George, Michael Vick, and Deshaun Jackson jobs like these. 100%. That's just my opinion. And to furthermore step on, I'm not even diving into Deshaun Jackson take. He got the job. I'm diving on the Dion take. I love what Dion's done for that aspect, getting guys jobs. But Dion is got to figure out, in my opinion, and we'll talk to Matt about this, but he has to figure out if he's going to be a football coach, leader of all men, or is he going to be a figurehead and just bring in dollars, social media, and so forth and so on. Because he is clearly out-coached in every big football game he's a part of. He has yet to win a bowl game, and he's yet to beat a top-ranked team as he faces those teams. You got to look at it as you're getting out-coached in those big moments. And that's just fact. You can say what you want to say. I'm a hater, blah, blah. One of my best friends in the profession, everyone knows it, is Kalani Sitake, the head coach at BYU. That's why I stayed out of this whole game discussion because, again, we're going to call it a meaningless bowl game and blah, blah, blah. Those two teams, much credit to Deion Sanders in Colorado for allowing his whole team to play in a game that was, in my opinion, meaningful because BYU and Colorado share the same league now. So I want to be clear. I thought they should have played during the season. It's a bad scheduling situation, in my opinion. But now they played in a bowl game. Both teams played their players, and I love to see that part of it. But it was a clear mismatch on chess match on X's and O's and actually leading men in a manner that was going to win a big-time situation on a big-time stage. Dion has failed 3 times to my knowledge, 2 at Jackson State, and now 1 here. When is he going to say, all right, I'm all in on this thing? Because I believe Dion can do it if he really wants to and surrounds himself with the right folks. And he's doing that, I think, year to year. He's getting better with his staff. I know he lost 2 guys yesterday, though. I'm interested to dive into that. But I'm curious as to your take. I'm sure you disagree, but this is just the coach of me. I want to see Dion either be all in on this or all out and become, he can go be great on TV, Smitty. Dion is great on TV. He's great on TV. I love actually watching him on his takes when he used to be on NFL Network and different things. I think he needs to do one or the other because he's getting just outmanned as a coach in these big games. So Matt's here, Smitty. You want to wait or you want to take your take real quick?
Well, mine's real quick. I mean, we can bring Matt in, but my take is really quick. I mean, I agree with you that he has to get better in big moments because of the history that you just listed out. I think that's just a fact. It has nothing to do with whether I'm a fan of him or not. In the biggest game so far at Jackson State in Colorado, he has lost. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. So he has to find a way to improve either himself as the leader, also his staff around. I agree with you 100% on that. But the second part about him not being all in, I got to push back. Because, like, just seeing, again, I know he lost the bowl game, but this was a long season. And look at this turnaround that he's done at Colorado within 2 years. It's night and day. It's literally night and day. So I can't say that he's not all in when I'm looking at the actual results. So let's go ahead and bring Matt in, though, because Matt, I know he got a little bit of time, and we want to hear from him more than anything. So what's going on, Matt? What's good?
Nah, man, just chilling. It's unbelievable. I'm dealing with this Cam Ward agent now. It's unbelievable, dog. This is why I do what I do, and I'm a cold motherfucker. I'm a cold hustler, bro. I got to be honest with you, man. As I cuss out Cam Ward's agent right now, Anyway, I don't want to waste your time with Cam Ward. Let's dive into Colorado. Matt, real quick, I just started off with Smitty on saying that Dion's been out-coached, in my opinion, as a coach in 3 biggest games of his life. 2 at Jackson State and then 1 the other night in bowl games. I said I like Dion, what he's doing. I think Dion has got Eddie George, Deshaun Jackson now, Michael Vick, those type of guys' jobs. I think Dion's a trendsetter in that regard. His face and his figure, being a figurehead in the profession, one of the greatest players ever, in my opinion, top 2, has done that. I said to Smitty just now, I want to see Dion take the next step and be all in on this, which I think you say he is all in, which I agree. I'll believe you. All in this coaching world and surround himself, which he continues to do, I think, surround himself with better coaches and staff and become this real guy to go and win these big games. Or I think he needs to stop being the figurehead and being all on board, hands-on, be the football coach, leader of all men that it requires, Matt, as you know, to win a game like this. One of my best friends in the world is Kalani Sitake at BYU. I think he's been doing this a long time. Those two are actually close. They've been talking. I congratulated him. What is your take on this? Because the facts of the matter is he struggles against big opponents in big-time games as the head coach. Are you just thinking they're just outmanned still to this point in the building process at Colorado? BYU was better overall just because he's been there longer, or do you think there's something else to it?
Oh, I don't think they didn't.
Great season, by the way. I just want to be clear. I don't go out and talk about the team that lost their last game and just try to bash them. That shit is bitch made to me. They won 9 games. Colorado did. Speaking of Colorado, I just wanted to bring this up because I want to see Dion take the next step, but I think he gets out-coached in these big games. Go ahead, Matt. My bad.
I think 9-4 and a Heisman are pretty good, especially after 1-11 and 4-8. I think that they've gotten outclassed against upper echelon competition. Yeah, I think Kansas State beat them up and BYU beat them up and Kansas beat them up. And I'm just talking about dominant run games. I'm not talking about dominant teams. The teams that got really physical with CU and restricted time of possession for Shedeur beat the shit out of us. And maybe the score doesn't reflect that. The BYU score does. That was a clinic. But the K-State score didn't reflect that. They could have won that game. And the Kansas score was another clinic. So essentially, Kansas State blueprinted how to beat this team. And the smart teams that tried to play them copied that. And they went in and physically assaulted Colorado on Saturday. BYU did. And, the big 92, Beatty, their defensive end, I tip my cap to that man. He was absolutely destroying everybody at the point of attack. Yeah. There's this old line where coaches can't play. I can't play for you. I say it to my guy. I'm about this 8 o'clock group that's walking in right now, full of defensive linemen. I'm going to say it to them right when I get done off the show and walk in there and they're done with their warm-up. I'm going to say, I can't train for you today. I can't do it for you. So you're either going to give me something or you ain't. You're either going to play or you ain't. And it looked to me like everybody – I've been to the Alamo Bowl before in 2002. It's a huge vacation. There's lots of distractions. I mean, the shit I was hearing that they were doing down there, it seems like they're college kids, and that's what they were doing. They were in a college bowl game, and I don't think a lot of people took it very seriously and thought that they were just going to roll BYU, and BYU went down there and locked themselves in the hotel and probably didn't drink and party that much and, went out and rolled us. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's a good thing. Losing a bowl game isn't a good thing, but it's not the end of the world. Getting there, it's kind of like a championship game. I'm not going to penalize them for going to a bowl game, especially a good one. So I think that what Coach Prime has done up to this point has been phenomenal, but I also think that they really need to look at themselves in the mirror and get better off of this. Like, we shouldn't be scouting Delaware, Georgia Tech, and Wyoming our first 3 next year. We should be scouting ourselves. Like, they just lost 2 coaches. They're going to lose a couple more. I'd assume that's what good coaching staffs do. They lose coaches.
Like they've really got to figure out how to run the football between the tackles out of 11 personnel. They've got to get more creative in their run scheme. They've got to move the pocket more, especially like now that Shador's gone and you don't have a magic man at quarterback and you don't have the best player in the country roaming around at receiver and DB. Those two won you games that you weren't supposed to win. So now you've got to fall back on fundamentals and coaching and support. Are you going to support Sloter, the new quarterback from Liberty, who is not the same guy Shador is? He can run more. Are we going to get more creative in our zone read schemes? Are we going to get more creative in our pin and pull schemes? Are we going to get more physical at the point of attack? The thing that really kills me, and I've been saying this since the Kansas State game where we got just bludgeoned, and they had over 250 yards rushing. We had negative 29, the worst day in Colorado history. I've been saying this forever, but until we decide to support the quarterbacks, they have to do everything. And by the end of the year, Shador was back to the everything mode. So I don't know Juju and Sloter and Salter, whatever the kid's name is. Yeah. I don't know them well enough to talk on whether or not they can succeed with the same kind of offensive scheme that Shador did. But I'm going to guess it's no. I'm going to just go out and guess it's a no. So I would hope that they start running the football, assaulting the line of scrimmage. They've got that big tackle from A&M that just came in the transfer portal. He played, on the other side of Trey Zone. He's a good player. It's not that they don't have the talent. Now they've got to go really look at themselves in the mirror and say, who do we want to be going into next year? Because they can transform year in and year out. There's no law saying they can't. And that goes back to your point, coaches. Are we going to fully invest in the coaching thing? And are we just going to dive straight into this and develop a real football team? Now that all the superstars are gone, are we going to develop another real team in Boulder with ferocity and get down and guys that can go to the NFL? Or was this a one-off? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you can, though, Matt. Fair to Dion, being fair to Dion.
Let me ask this question: Is it really on the CEO to be the point of development, or do they need to hire coaches that can actually get recruits in, handle the transfer portal, and get those guys in and have the connection to do so, and develop on both sides of the line of scrimmage? That's my thing. Is they had O'Boyle. He left after a year. They had Loadholt. I didn't expect him to leave. He left after a year. That's not good for the consistency and the maturity of your football team up front. So they need to hire somebody who actually wants to be there that can develop these kids and help with the recruiting part. And I don't know where they're going to find that guy, but I could guess.
Here's the thing. There's a lot to dive into on this, Matt Smitty. I don't believe, to be fair to Dion, I don't think you can do what we're discussing anymore in this landscape.
Oh, I do.
It ain't Dion. It's nobody. I don't believe anyone can. Here's a deep dive that no one's talked about. Because of how the landscape is, in my opinion, there is no more culture building. There is no more program building, in my opinion, because Dion inherited a 1-11 program, but no one wants to discuss that he gutted it and brought in 80 new guys year one, right? And then he did the same thing year two and did the same exact thing and had a better year, right? Because he had, guess what? Better players. And this is going on across America. This is every school. The way the landscape is, I could actually argue and say, listen, did Dion really flip a bad program, or did he get better players than school X, Y, and Z in the first 2 years of their tenure? Because, and that's my point. I'm glad you see it, because there's a lot of teams I can ask that about. I can ask that about a lot of teams, and we're going to say, all right, he went 9-3, 9-4 at the end of the year, and he's done a hell of a job there. Or has he just got better players in his 2 years in this landscape? And it's basically I'm flipping a coin to see, can I be good next year too? Because my Jimmys and Joes are better than your Jimmy and Joe. This is where we are now in America. I don't believe we'll ever know how good of a football coach you are anymore. And that's for anybody, not Deion Sanders or Kalani Sitake or anybody. Matt, we don't allow our coaches anymore to show us if they really are good coaches anymore because of the current landscape we are in. We have failed development, structure, organization, and culture. We have failed it, and our kids are being failed today at all-time high because of the discussion on the NCAA, the collectives being involved, and how this NIL thing is moving kids from school to school. And I'm just being honest, that is where we are. I don't know if anyone's done a great job or anyone's done a bad job. We can't judge you anymore. So to that point, Matt, I got to ask you, why did Loho leave? Why did you guys lose 2 coaches, especially an alum? It's going to bring up the alarms, Matt. Bling, ding, 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 ding. Is Dion staying? Is Dion staying? Why would they leave? That's going to be the discussion. You already know that.
Everybody leaves with coaches every year. This isn't an indication that Dion's going to leave. And I think he would have left already if he was going to. I think he would have been the first one out the door, to be honest with you, if he was going to leave.
I got to fight back. Only reason I got to bark back on that is because of the narrative, right? Dion we're at a place like Colorado. No one else wants to go anywhere else but here. I got an alum here. I got former NFL guys that want to be for Dion, want to coach for Dion. Why would you leave Dion if Colorado and Dion, according to you and everybody else that's Colorado Buff backers,
money?
That's the place to be. That's the place to be. Why would you leave?
No, hold on. Coaches don't think like players. Coach Loadhold and Coach Dancy. Coach Dancy's an assistant D-line coach. He's going to be the D-line coach.
He's growing.
Coach Loadhold is getting a better deal at Mississippi State. I'd imagine they pay their coaches more in the SEC than he did at Colorado. Period. So I'm sure that's why they're leaving. It's just basically for opportunity. Loadhold's going to work for the guy that got him into coaching as well as now the new head coach down there at Mississippi State. So I'm not going to look into the coaches leaving a program. Coaches leave programs like crazy, just like players do these days. So, look, this is what I'll say. I don't know how much coaching you really had to do to make Shedeur and Travis Hunter great. I think that they're just great, okay? The same way where I can't really look at Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, and say, man, Mike Zimmer, when you were in Dallas, is the reason you're a Hall of Famer. No, it ain't true. He's Deion Sanders. So the key is, are you going to stack your team with 4- and 5-star guys that are just elite? Or are you going to develop talent and try and build a Kansas State by the Rockies, a BYU type program that doesn't necessarily get 4- and 5-star recruits all the time, but are still developing players? Because there is a lot of schools that are still doing that. I think you can do both. You just have to hire the right people. You have to look a little bit outside the box here. And the same way that Coach Prime was hired outside the box, he needs to think outside the box and stop just going after guys that want to go and jump from job to job to job. That stop hiring guys that want a 1-year rental as your coach for arguably the most important hire on your team other than strength coach. Matt, the offensive line coach and run game coordinator should be your best fucking friend. So I personally believe that they really need to do their homework and, look outside the box when they're thinking about who they're going to hire at this position next.
To your point, first hire I make is O-line guy always when I take a job. Second guy is DC. That's just who I hire first and second. O-line's first, DC second. Smitty, you got to get in on this because my bad. I'm just trying to get through this.
I know we're rolling. I know Matt has a little bit of time. So
only got about 5 more minutes. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's all good.
I just got to ask you, isn't Colorado at the point, though, to be able for Dion to walk in to Rick George and say, hey, man, this is what we've done here. You all know what I've done here. Money-wise, finances, fame, popularity. We got to pay Phil Loadholt, and we got to pay these guys if we're going to be taken serious on the national scale. We're no longer in the Pac-12. We can't use the staff pool salary as an excuse when we used to be in the Pac-12 and Colorado was one of the lowest paying conference schools like Oregon State and Wazoo. Now those schools are paying too because now it's no longer that, we're in the shit Pac-12 that don't pay. No, you're now in the Big 12 and you need to go figure this out. I'm just trying to figure out, why isn't that the conversation to hold guys? Or are these guys trying to go because it's the SEC, the narrative?
Coach Loadholt, I don't know I know Phil as a friend. and as a colleague, and I respect him, and I think he did a great job in his first year, way better than a lot of the other offensive line coaches that have come in there in the past that I thought were absolutely terrible. But Phil really did a great job, and I think he got an opportunity at an SEC school, and the SEC is the echelon, bro. That's where everybody wants to go coach. Not everybody, but it's where a lot of guys want to go coach. He's went to Oklahoma. They're in the SEC now. I'm sure that he's trying to align himself when Beatonbaugh leaves Oklahoma, which is probably in the next couple of years, to go be the fucking O-line coach at Oklahoma. So you gotta make moves for yourself in the mercenary game of football these days that are conducive to you advancing. That's what football is. Every player, every coach, every man, every GM, everybody's trying to advance. The minute you get on a hamster wheel, it's slow death. So I think that Colorado's on the right path. I think that this offseason's huge. This hire at the offensive line position and run game coordinator is huge. And it's not just like, you can't just hire a guy who's happy to be there. You need to hire a guy that's going to challenge Pat Schumer and his scheme. You're going to need to hire a guy that's going to walk in and challenge Coach Sanders and Coach Prime on what they're thinking that week for the run game. You need to hire a guy that knows how to fucking run 11-on-11 quarterback power and zone schemes, because now you have a running quarterback that put 800 yards on the board and 12 touchdowns last year with Salter, and I think he starts next year just to give Juju some time to learn. He's only 17 years old and should be a senior in high school. So that is now instead of what happened, I'm going to look at what's going to happen. And the big indicator for me as a coach and as a guy who develops talent and has all these Division I kids in here this morning, it's Christmas break. Like, everybody's home. It's my favorite time of year because we just get to work. Now it's how do you get, Brett Coolidge, Deacon Schmidt, Reese Russell, all these kids that are in my facility. How do we lock them down in Denver so they don't leave the state? That's how you develop in-state grown talent. So it's you got to find somebody that's going to challenge the pro quo, but work inside the fabric of the system. And that's usually where you breed good leaders as well. So I don't know what they're going to do there, bro, but when I saw that yesterday afternoon, it was interesting to say the least, and I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just telling. It's crazy. We had a great start of the show, Matt. Cam Ward and his mother and father and agent reached out to me for some reason because of some mutual friends, and we had a 30, 45-minute conversation on the phone yesterday because I did a video that went viral.
Yeah, I saw
they were going to come on the show. They were supposed to come on the show this morning. They didn't, and now the agent is calling me a liar and etc. So now I'm cussing his dumb motherfucking street agent ass out. And I'm just so tired. I know what I do, Matt. See, I do this for a reason.
He's calling you a liar?
Yeah, he called me a liar because I said Cam Ward made $8 million. I said, no, you didn't listen very well then. I said when you pay certain people, and I said use Cam Ward as a narrative. I was using Cam Ward in the discussion. If you guys listen, you understood what I was saying. Yeah. He thinks I'm calling him out saying, oh, he got $8 million. He should have played. I'm saying if you pay a guy $8 million or anybody a certain amount of money, I didn't say that Cam Ward made $8 million. These street agents don't fucking listen, homie. These street agents are all the same.
He played the first half, Matt, and then the second half. So that's the whole discussion, basically. Like,
he got hurt?
No, he wasn't hurt. He just played the first half and just sat the second half and let the backup quarterback play. So that's the whole argument. Like, either suit up and play the whole game, or don't suit, don't play at all. That's kind of the discussion going around right now. People are saying he quit on the team. They lost by 1 point. Obviously, it was a last drive situation where he could have came in and maybe won the game. He didn't elect to do so. So that's kind of the whole discussion right there.
Here's what I think. I'll tell you right now, Smitty.
When you hire a mercenary, that's what you get.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, man. It's a selfish.
Mercenaries are loyal to the thumb, not the finger. Keep that in mind.
Ooh.
The finger is the group thing. The mercenaries are only loyal to the thumb, homie.
I got a receipt, though. I got a receipt that I paid you to win me some games. I got a receipt that says, "Hey Cam, I paid you to win me some games. What's going on?"
Hey dog, check this out. I was watching the game Saturday, and in August I put a pretty substantial wager on a futures bet that both CU and Denver would win 10 games each. Fuck, bro. It was so it made Saturday so much worse because that payout was huge.
Yeah.
And then CU was like 5 games, and Broncos were 5.5. And now, like, both of them are probably not going to win 10 games, so they're 1 game away. It's like, fuck.
Just out of curiosity, do you mind telling us what the payout would have been?
Around like 30 grand.
Ooh, shit. Sorry.
New Year's would have been great, but now it's just a ho-hum.
Man, sorry about that, man.
Yeah, man, it's all good. Look, bro, the situation in Boulder will keep progressing. I think that you have a possibility right now with the Patriots and the Titans picking 1-2, judging what happens this weekend. If I'm those 2 teams, I want to lose badly. And then they could pick Hunter first and Shador second and then move on. I think that's going to be pretty cool for CU. That will entice guys to really go look at what's happening in Boulder. It's not just the player, it's the development there and also the culture. So, you know, that's how you knock down Colorado, is talk about, not you, but in general, just talk about the culture and the lack of community and shit. I look at it as, I think they have a great community, great culture, and the program's on the rise, and I think they're going to dominate the Big 12 for years to come, especially as they keep recruiting. But this next hire, I'm going to reiterate this before I leave because I got to go to work. You've got to go hire somebody on the offensive side of the ball that knows how to install run game, that knows how to motivate and develop players, that knows how to influence the transfer portal, that knows how to get high school recruits, that has some kind of like framework of, you know, loyalty to the university rather than just getting the same way you don't want a 1-year mercenary quarterback that's going to leave you. Do you really want another 1-year mercenary offensive line coach? That's just what it is. I'm not saying Lodeholt's a mercenary, but he was here for a year and jumped pretty quick. I'm just saying, man, you got to find somebody that's not just looking to go into the fucking coaching carousel, just like you don't necessarily want to just find 80 guys a year that want to go on the transfer portal carousel. The 2 carousels are running, you know, right next to each other, and the coaches are leaving as fast as the players are. You got to be careful that you're not bringing in turds to replace guys that you thought would stay there for a long time. So I hope that they make a good decision and open their eyes and really, really, really focus on the same way that all these schools are hiring out-of-the-box head coaches. They need to think outside the box in order to hire their next offensive line coach.
Yeah, I just don't know if you can do it anymore. I think it's a mercenary business.
I think you can do it, dude. I guarantee you, if certain people were given the opportunity to do so, they would fucking murder it and destroy it, and we would have a fucking pipeline.
Who's certain people?
Transfer portal and high school development. It's just know what I know.
Do you know a guy by chance, Matt? Or?
I have no comment on who I know. I'm just saying I know tons of great coaches out there that are looking for jobs.
I'm just saying, do you know a guy who's outside the box, who knows how to lead man, who's loyal to the program, who's not looking to hop around, who played the position at a high level, played in the league?
Maybe. I don't know him personally. I know a guy who's got like 3 or 4 multiple personalities that are in there. Maybe we can identify which one of the 4 we're talking about. But other than that, yeah, I know a guy.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Eeny, meeny, miny, Malcolm.
You know, like a crazy fucking like bipolar fuck that lives close by Colorado.
Yeah, I know him. I've heard he's a real asshole, but he gets results.
I heard that about someone I know too.
Well, last time I checked, I'm not looking for fucking. I don't want I don't want my offensive line coach to be the nicest guy in the room. In fact, I want you to walk by him and go, "Good morning, coach," and he goes, "How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?" That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. So we'll see what happens in Boulder. All you can do is pick up the phone. You feel me?
No doubt. Good luck. Good rest of the week. Happy New Year. I'll be on the yacht.
Goddamn year. Every fucking year. At the point of the year this happens, by the way. Like I can almost a year ago to the day, I bet Bailey could find the clip of us talking about who they're going to hire on the offensive line. If we could just fucking replay and it'd be the same show.
Well,
yeah,
we'll see. I mean,
we're back today on 0-60 after a week off. We're back at 1 o'clock, Bailey and I, to talk about God fucking knows what. But we'll be back on Friday here with you and keep talking. I'd love to talk some NFL with you guys here moving forward too. That was a crazy.
Yeah, what do you got tonight? The Lions are in a must-win. I call it a must-win.
It's a must-win for the Lions just to set up next weekend because Minnesota's real. I'll tell you this though. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson are nice, but Joe Burrow's the MVP. That motherfucker right there is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's different this year, I'll tell you.
Unbelievable.
He is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He is unbelievable. I'll tell you this, everybody in Buffalo should be shitting their pantaloons if Cincinnati gets in and they don't get – like, if you're in Buffalo, you are praying that Denver beats Kansas City so you get a rookie quarterback and you can just mop the Broncos.
The Chiefs are resting all their starters, by the way, too. So.
It's going to be interesting to talk about.
Everybody. But if Cincinnati gets in, the last time they went to Buffalo, they won that game, and it's just everyone in Buffalo is going to be fuck.
Well, I think people in Queendom Town are going to be worse.
Oh yeah, they'll be freaked out if Cincinnati gets there. I can see Cincinnati being an 8-loss Super Bowl fucking
like the New York Giants almost. You know,
the Giants been 9-7 and won the Super Bowl. Yeah.
I don't know how the bracket will shape out, but I hope that they get in. They end up on the side to where they have to play the Chiefs because I think they had knocked them out.
They would go 7-2, so they would play Buffalo, and then the Chiefs would get the lowest remaining seed. So if they beat Buffalo, Cincinnati would go to Kansas City.
Oh, that's perfect because now the Ravens got the Bengals number, so now the Ravens will beat the Bengals in the AFC Championship, and Lamar will get his first ring.
Well, maybe. Yeah, I know they got their number, but they only got their number by last play of the game. If you look at all those Bengals games,
I'm trying to figure out. Aren't you a Colts fan, homie?
Oh yeah, what happened to the Colts? Hey, what happened to IR5?
He had back spasms.
Wow, I had back spasms yesterday. That sucked.
Hey. When the Ravens had Flacco at quarterback, were you just hyped on the Ravens?
No.
Hey, so let me ask you this, Coach. Would you take, and just before I get off, are you taking Cam Ward or Shedeur number 1? Or first quarterback off the board? So Tennessee, you're taking Shedeur or Cam?
Either.
Well, who are you taking it? Who's Tennessee taking a quarterback then?
I
think the way that this panned out is huge for Shedeur. If he goes to Tennessee, he gets to pray for Brian Callahan. Bill Callahan's there. They want to run the fucking rock. They'll teach him how to play under center and move the pocket. I think that could be a good fit. It's in a shitty, terrible division.
You can talk about this on your show, I'm sure. I'm sure you'll talk about this later with Bailey. But do you think it's cemented in their draft stock already, or did those bowl games hurt both of them? Their bowl games didn't hurt both.
Shit. I think I think Cam Ward's bowl game hurts him more than Shedeur. Shedeur went out and played every snap and got his ass kicked and didn't play well, but he didn't quit. Ooh, you like that?
Interesting.
Stuck it in there and twisted.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cam did throw almost 20 yards, 3 touchdowns in one half.
I'm not saying the kid can't play. I'm saying that I don't really give a fuck regardless, but that's my excuse to go with Shedeur.
Matt, we'll see you Friday. I will talk some NFL.
Peace.
See you, McChesney.
Peace. Hey,
I'm a Lamar Jackson fan, homie. I'm not gonna lie.
I want to be clear real quick. I want to be clear. This Cam Edwards is obviously a prime sexual. Nice pitcher, by the way. Shedeur is not going to save anybody's job. Shedeur is going to get a coach fired. I just want to be clear out here. So Cam Edwards, you fucking nobody that knows nothing other than prime sexuals nutsack across your motherfucking eyelids, you know nothing how this works. Shedeur will get a coach fired, not hired. So I just want to be clear there. Smitty, I know we got a commercial break because we got a loaded lineup with Steve Kim joining us at 8 o'clock today. And we also have Shaun King. And you'll have to leave it around 8:30, I think. So we'll have Shaun King as my other black co-host. He'll figure it out and finish the show so we still can keep the narrative.
Right.
Hey, Smitty, real quick, I got to be honest. I think college football is fucked, dog. I don't think you can build a culture anymore at all. And I don't think you can have – I think coaches are leaving for the simple fact that what I just discussed. You do not understand the fact that this is no longer coaching. This is business. And now you're going to have to hire some fucking business CEOs to manage the money It's not even about coaching. There's no development no more. We need to stop using that word development. Matt used it 3 times, and I kept forgetting to interrupt him and say, you can't develop no more. That's why Lodeholt left. This is why guys are going in and out. There's no developing no more. There's no culture. There's no program building. There is none of that. You inherited a 1-11 school, Dion. But really, I can argue the fact that did you really do good, or did you just get better players for 2 years and now move on and do another job? And I'm not just saying Dion. That's everywhere, as I mentioned. This is no longer developmental program. This is not
real quick, though. Like, for example, okay, let's say Oregon wins the Natty, just for an example purposes, right? How many players in your estimation do you think are going to transfer out at the end of this year till next year? Like, what, 20 maybe?
From Oregon?
Yeah, I'm just using them as an example, like 20.
Oregon?
My point being is,
just Oregon?
Well, I'm just using them as an example. Whoever you want to use, I don't know. You know.
No, I'm saying, are you just discussing?
Yeah, I'm talking about Oregon right now.
They win the championship or something?
Yeah, but the reason I'm bringing it up, I guess my bigger point is this: like, yeah, a lot of players are transferring, but there's 100 players on the football team in college, right? There's a lot of guys middle of the pack who aren't transferring. Now, we don't talk about them because they're not the sexy names or whatever the case may be, but there's still a large part of these teams that are just staying put. So I do believe there's still development happening. But we're so fascinated with the Cam Wards of the world and all these bigger names, the Caleb Williams when he was in college, and you know the big name guys that I think sometimes that they overshadow the 2-star and 3-star guys who are just sitting around and staying with a program for 2, 3, even 4 years and being developed. We're just not talking about them as much. It's not like full teams are transferring out, is what I'm saying.
Well, the 90% of them are, though. Indiana inherited what? What did he do? Everyone gave him the coach of the year. Cignetti came and did what? Lost 80, brought in 70. When Lanning got the Oregon job, they had just got depleted when Mario left. Lanning took the job. 70 guys left. Dan had to bring in a new 80. There is you can't tell me that we're developing and there's guys holding over.
But after Lanning brought in that fresh 80 when he first got there, he ain't doing it every year now. Now it's more like, okay, he's building a foundation based upon when you first get to a school, yeah, you got to wipe out, clear out shop, and get shit right. But then once you get there, all right.
That's a school lore. That's a school lore, in my opinion. See, there's only a few programs that have Cam Edwards. Shut the fuck up. You're a nobody. Shut up. God damn, homie, you prime sexual dick rider. Shut the fuck up. Number one, Smitty, you know what BYU is? It's a program.
Yeah.
If Kalani Sitake was there or not, that's what people don't understand.
Program.
It's a program because this culture has been embedded with older Mormon players that go in here. They don't really walk around. Air Force, Army, and Navy are programs. It's embedded in the program situationally based on the fact that they don't go into the portal because of what they're in, armed forces. They're not transferred from Army to Navy.
Right.
So there's only 4 or 5 of those in the whole country. Everything else is mercenary business because this is a pay-to-play now league. And I think this is a league that is going to take on the model of NFL minor leagues. This is the NFL minor leagues, and I think this is where we are, dog. I don't think there's any more development, and I think it's a lackluster performance on everyone out there judging coaches. And let me be clear when I say it. Lackluster performance on analysts that are out there who are judging and asking for coaches to be fired or hired on ESPN and all these other platforms, because I don't believe you're diving deep enough into the scenario and situation like we are today on this show about this is a mercenary business. There is no more development. There is no more he's created a culture. There is no more this. There is no more that. This is all about getting the best 80 players in year to year. We got 6,000 in the portal, Smitty. You can't sit here and talk about development to me when there's only 134 Division I playing schools. It just doesn't exist. There's no more. I'm plucking from the portal all day long. We have hired. Division I schools have hired. Fact. Go ask anybody. 7 to 10 portal coaches. All they do is come in on the portal the day it opens Here, coach. Johnny's entered the portal. We need a tight end. Here he is. Coach, 77 O-linemen are available right now this morning. We need 5. Let's go get X, Y, and Z. There is no more. You can't talk about that and then tell me I'm going to develop those guys. It doesn't even go hand in hand. It doesn't go hand in hand. Real quick, Smitty, we're about to take a commercial break, but beforehand, I'm going to clear up the air on this Cam Ward thing. Cam Ward's agent was the first number that called me yesterday. I ignored it, did not know who he was. Text messaged me with Cam Ward's father on a group text saying, I'm Cam Ward's agent. This is Cam Ward's father in the group text. Would you be willing to talk to us? I said, why me, though? That's the first question. You guys saw the text. I said, why do you want to talk to me? I'm not Pat McAfee. I'm not that big. No, coach, we have mutual friends. We respect your take, blah, blah, blah. All right, whatever. Found out Weddle and him Weddle was his first client years ago. So I said, all right. Because I showed Weddle the text, and Weddle said, I know him. He was my agent, blah, blah, blah. I got rid of him, though. Well, I see why. He's a street agent, fuckboy, who wanted to call me to get in and figure out what I was really going to say and act like I don't know what your ploy was, homie. You've been played, not the other way around. I knew you were waiting for the show. That's why I'm a realist, and I'm going to be the exact same person I was going to be if you guys would have came on the show. Which I told you that's what I was going to do and give you your fair right to defend your son and everything that's happened that you told me on the phone. You declined because now he's texting me, you're a liar. Why would you lie? Blah, blah. Well, you didn't listen. And it clearly proves to me that you're a street agent who just wanted to hear a trigger word, Smitty, that we all discuss in this world, that trigger words is what triggers people to think that's the whole discussion. One word. You heard $8 million and you thought it was directly correlation with Cam Ward, your client. Had nothing to do with Cam Ward. I was using it as a hypothetical, and you listened to the whole conversation, you would have understood that. But you chose not to because you want to fucking text me. He's texting me right now. So he's watching the show. These fucking street agents are fucking a goddamn shame. And I hope Cam Ward sees through it in the future and his parents. And I hope you understand what you're getting yourself into, son. Good luck to you guys. But I understand why you opted out the second half. You got bad fucking advice. You got bad fucking people around you, homie. And I'm going to stick to that. I know fake motherfuckers and I know street agents. I've been around them too long, homie. I'm from fucking Compton, homie. Don't get it twisted, motherfucker. You fake fucking street agents. Fuck you. I'll see you on the other side, Smitty. Commercial.
What up, man? This is a proud new sponsor of the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty, and it is First Round Performance. Yeah. Make sure you head on over to firstroundperformance.com. We got the merch, the gear. They are top-notch company.
High quality, JB. All about the quality here. Workout gear, exclusive gear. What's that right there, JB?
By the way, nobody else in the country or the world has this short right here. You can put this short on. It helps your back. It helps your hamstrings, helps your quads as you work out.
What?
You can wear these right underneath your workout shorts or what have you. It's kind of like a girdle, but very, very comfortable. Shorts Against Syndrome. It's SAFS. Go head on over there and check it out. First Round Performance.
JB, they got workout bands. They got ankle weights.
What's this?
What's in that box?
Kind of good.
It's our first time seeing this.
What's this?
I'm nervous. What's that?
A 40-yard dash electric timer. You can go get your workout on with the light and the strobe, the whole deal. Firstroundperformance.com.
Oh, you just turned it on, JB.
Damn.
You want that smoke?
Go check it out.
I know you ain't trying to race me,
I might
JB.
race Smitty and smoke him.
You ain't trying to race me. You scared of that life.
Yeah, this is real deal. You guys got to go check it out. FirstRoundPerformance.com. Head on over there. Proud new sponsor of the Coach JB Show.
Nice, JB.
With Big Smitty. And
oh, this is mine, right?
hell yeah. Listen, their premium gear, including the revolutionary SAFS shorts I just showed you, are expertly designed by a leading orthopedic surgeon to align your hips and relieve your pain. It is trusted by athletes and active individuals alike, whether you are pushing your limits with their high-quality resistance bands, as Smitty just showed you, or boosting recovery with the powerful dual-spectrum red light therapy devices that I just showed you. First Round Performance delivers the tools needed to stay at the top of your game. Whether aiming for peak performance or simply wanting to live pain-free, they've got you covered. Visit FirstRoundPerformance.com or shop on Amazon today. They just launched their AmazonStore.com, their Amazon store. This is out there, First Round Performance on Amazon. And so go help them out and grab some performance gear today. And please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.
Yes, sir.
Go First Round.
Go First Round, baby.
The promo code will be Coach JB. So check that out and head on over there today.
Get right, baby. First Round, the highest quality.
First Round Performance, go get you some merch.
Ooh, I like this shirt. I like this shirt, JB.
Peace.
We're in the building. Cam Edwards, shut the fuck up. What business don't I stand on? Shut up. You sound like a bitch, homie. Stop. I don't want bitches in my chat. You sound like you have a period once a month, homie. You crying like a bitch in the chat. Shut the fuck up, Mr. fucking prime sexual. What business don't I stand on, homie? See, the thing is, you would fucking quiver in my presence. You're one of these little fuck boys who got cut everywhere he's ever been. He tried to play football. You were shitty. And then you want to come in and be part of something. So you cling on to the first thing, which is Dion Sanders in Colorado, who has no clue who you fucking are. And you're probably from Florida somewhere who thinks they're a Colorado Buffalo fan for life. Shut the fuck up. You're embarrassment, homie. You embarrass me. I have secondhand embarrassment for you. You are sounding like a female on her period, homie. Shut the fuck up. I don't have time for bitch-made cats. You're a bitch-made cat, homie. Shut the fuck up. Show me your resume, what you've done for people in your life, what you've done for other black kids, and show me that, and then stay in the chat and discuss with me. Until you could do that, you're just a yapper. You're a bitch who wants to cry. So shut the fuck up. You'll never be able to talk with me, homie. You can't hang with my vernacular. Shut the fuck up. I am built different, as you would say. Stop talking to me. Nobody on social media in the world can fuck with me in a discussion about debating anything. And that's fact, motherfucker. So take your cooked ass up out of here, change your motherfucking tampon, and come holler at me when you're ready to grow a pair. So shut the fuck up. You sound like a bitch. So shut the fuck up in the chat now. So anyway, Smitty, moving on amicably. What's up?
You all right? You good on me?
Yeah.
The hell?
Nah, I just tired of motherfuckers, men that have tampons that are bloody. I just don't do it well. Smitty, I want to be clear on why I went in on the agent of Cam Ward. it disgusts me to continue to see these street agents fuck these kids. And I want to be clear. I want to be fucking super clear here. This has nothing to do with me, my ego, or anything else. I made a statement on a video that went viral. I'm standing by the statement. It wasn't a personal attack on Cam Ward. See how they're twisting it now a day later that on the show live that y'all said you wanted to come on. Now you are saying that I'm using other things a day later. Hold up, homie. You had your chance to come on the show.
Right.
Don't twist it now because you heard the show live and you were watching it to see what JB would say, and now you want to flip the narrative and act like I'm the bad guy now, motherfucker. No, you're a street agent who used these kids to get clicks and likes, as you say I'm looking for. Motherfucker, I don't need clicks and likes. I'm the same motherfucker regardless of what the fucking topic is. So be clear real quick. Seems like you need clicks and likes, motherfuckers, because you're using these kids, these babies, as your fucking clicks and likes to get into the profession that you fucking failed at. Mr. Weiner or whatever the fuck your name is.
Is he black or white?
Oh, he's a white boy. Hey, guys, I'm hooking you up with Cam Ward's father and mother. Would you like to have a discussion? There's nothing ill will. We don't have any ill will. We just want to have a discussion with you, motherfucker. Fucking soft mother.
On the other side of that, y'all, I said NBA 2K was installed, y'all, on my TV. Right, just happened. Breaking news, y'all. I'm not a big gamer, but I won a free PS5, and it came with a free little full game download. And I forgot that it came with. I've been having this PS5 for like a few weeks now. I went ahead and did a little scratch off and put it on there. Y'all just saw the update live. Listen, real the show live on the show. NBA 2K5. So listen, I might start hopping on the game because I'm great at everything I do. If I do, I might let members only. Gohan, Daniel Cap, Cam Edwards.
Whoa, what happened to your voice, homie? Your shit just went out. Your mic's horrible.
What happened?
I don't know. It sounded like you went underwater, came up, and then it went out.
That's how your shit always sound.
I know. I don't get it. We got to fix that.
I kind of like that our stuff is messed up a little bit because like it really shows the journey. It shows that we real, like we really from the mud, just trying to figure this shit out. So when we do make it to like the big stage, you got a big ass desk and we got all type of money. The real ones gonna know. The Lucy's of the world, the Max Hesses, they gonna know from like day one where we were at and where we went to. So I'm cool with it. I'm fine.
People don't understand my passion, my flame, and my fire. Why I go hard at certain people.
What's your fingers doing on when you talk? Why your fingers do this when you talk?
Yeah, it's like that like flame and that fire. Okay. It's like, don't misconstrue my energy as to I'm a hater. No, I'm actually in defense of the player, Cam Ward. And I'm here to make sure that he understands that this real world is going to eat you up and spit you out, son. I wouldn't have allowed you to have the JB shows of the world, ESPNs and all these other folks to now critique you, criticize you, and flame you in a manner that is a black eye in the profession. Let's just say that. Because we know, Smitty, how many NFL agents have drafted guys and said, oh, why do you you're smoking this bong with your girl in the 8th grade? You're gonna drop a little bit. Hey man, you got your dad had a few issues with the law. It had nothing to do with me, man. They're gonna turn over rocks, dig deep into every scenario when they draft these kids. And you know as well as I do, right. I tried to prevent those things, but I'm the asshole in the manner that I went about it. Because I cussed a white boy cussing out a lot of brothers on Netflix. Half of you that saw the first 4 episodes were like, oh, that motherfucker's a racist, crazy motherfucker. Then it gets to series 5, 6, 7, 8, and they're like, damn, JB love these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers love JB. How is that even possible? Because you all don't understand. You don't dig deep enough. You all are surface level thinkers because social media has allowed you to be a surface level thinker and see what you want to see. You don't see the whole clip. You see a 30-second short video. You don't know the whole discussion. You see this discussion and say, oh, JB's a hater because Cam Ward didn't go in the game. No, I want to prevent what the fuck we're saying today on the show and what's going to be out there about Cam Ward today. But these street agents and these other motherfuckers don't see it that way and understand it. And that's unfortunate. And I'm glad it's a Monday, not a Tuesday, because Steve Kim said, hey, I got to come on Monday to see what's going on. Because Steve Kim is a hurricane extraordinaire, fan extraordinaire, knower of all things. Let's bring our main man, the Korean Cosell himself, co-host of the Whitlock Show and 3 Knockdown Rule with Mario Lopez, Steve Kim.
What's good, Steve?
Morning. What is going on? I mean,
it took a turn. The thing took a turn, Steve. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, the guy's reaching out to you yesterday, wanted to broker the Middle East peace treaty, Camp David, with Menachem Begum, Jimmy Carter, God rest his soul, great man, terrible president, and some other guy. You got the tri-handshake, and now it's the Bloods and the Crips. What happened?
JB is snapped quick.
Yeah.
So long story short, Steve, JB was giving an analogy, and he just basically, or just using an example. He threw out $8 million. Not saying Cam got paid $8 million, but just using that as an example, saying if players are getting paid $8 million or whatever the number may be, you need to go out there and play. Just saying that in general. So the agent was watching the show and I guess just heard the number $8 million and then hit up JB and said, you're a liar. Cam didn't get paid $8 million, this, that, and the third. So once the word liar got thrown out, JB snaps, went back to old JB.
$8 million would be Nico Iamaleava.
Here, Steve, I'll read it to you. Fuck it. I'm going to read it to you. Fuck it.
Read it.
They like the Cam and his father and mother would like to join a later date if interested. I appreciate the opportunity. We're unable to join today, this morning. Appreciate you, man. 20 minutes later. Why do you lie so much, man? You could do a great show by sharing facts and opinions without stating such false things like Cam made $8 million when I wasn't even close to that. When I wasn't close to that. That's what this motherfucker said, by the way. But I'm sure you just say stuff to try to get reaction like this text message I'm sending you now. But I stopped watching because it was just lie after lie after lie. And I have too much work to do today to try to correct all of them for you. Really thought you were better than this.
All right, can I clear a few things
You don't
up?
want to see my message. You don't want to hear my message. But anyway,
I kind of do want to see it.
All right, let me clear this up. I know what he got.
Steve.
I know what he got. I know people that were involved. It was right around $1.5 million. Now, he was worth it, but I will say this. And a lot of Miami insiders know this. I know people that are intimately involved in this process. He was supposed to sign last Christmas Eve. Everyone was expecting it. And then for some reason, they delayed it. Then he entered the draft. Now, eventually he signed, but here's what it cost Miami. Jeremiah Smith. Maybe the greatest receiver in Ohio State history after 1 year. If Cam Ward signs December 24th, we get Jeremiah Smith. So everything comes at a cost. Now, I want to say something. Coming into this game last week, the Pop-Tarts, I told people, this is a scrimmage. I don't really care. Bailey, can you put up the tweet that I put up right after the game? I want to clarify a few things here. Because
let me get it for him.
I didn't really care if Cam Ward played or not. I really didn't, Smitty. Because here's the reality of today's bowl games. If it's not a playoff game, in my mind, they are now an extension of spring practice for the next year. And when Miami blew that Syracuse game, I remember exactly where I was. I was right on my usual table at Coach JB's poker setup. And I said, well, the season's over. I wasn't one of these Miami fans who thought we were going to sneak in as the 12th seed. I knew it was over. Okay? And so I said, we got to turn the page now. This is where I think JB is going to be maddened by what I say, but this is the reality. A lot of coaches now have taken the mindset the bowl games don't matter, and let's find out what we have next year. Okay? After halftime, I tweeted, are we even going to see Cam Ward? Because in my mind, I'm just telling you, Smitty, I actually said, we need to find out what does Emory Williams have. Is he even good enough to compete in spring practice for the job, or do we need to get a transfer portal guy and hope and pray that Luke Nickel, who's coming in, can be fast-tracked? Emory didn't do well. The game plan, I think, showed a lot about what they thought. They thought they could just run the ball, which is you can, but not with that defense. The other part of that game that I really wanted to see is can Lance Guidry at least show a little nominal improvement in his unit? I think it's the worst coached unit I have ever seen at Miami. We were Keystone Cops on the back seven. We kept getting out leveraged. Motion discombobulated us. We did not set the edge. We didn't set the table. We didn't rally towards the ball. We let way too many plays bounce outside. Now, look, I am not Asian Buddy Ryan. I don't know football. I just make observations. This is what I do. But let me just tell you something. It reminds me of that old story. Senate subcommittee. Some old politician goes up there talking about the evils of porn. And someone said, well, sir, can you describe or define what porn is? And the guy said, no, I can't define it, but I know it when I see it. And when I see a terrible defense that is uncoordinated to this degree, I know when I see it. I actually believe Mario Cristobal did Cam Ward a disservice because after the game, he was asked about this, Smitty. And instead of saying, well, we came to an agreement, I need to see what we're going to have next year. Cam wanted to play. Let's let him get the record. We're good with this, but I need to move forward too. But when Mario starts acting like the KGB and he's protecting the secrets to the formula for Coke, well, I'd rather keep those discussions private. You just threw that kid under the bus. You just threw that kid under I know JB's going to hate all of it, but this is the truth. Bowl games do not matter. Coaches know they do not matter. So I'm not upset at Cam Ward. I actually didn't understand all the outrage because I knew that there was an agreement. Now, by the way, in terms of players only playing partial games, he ain't the first, he ain't going to be the last. Miami played in the Cheez-It Bowl about 3 years ago. It was the COVID year.
Yep.
Now, that's the game De'Aaron King blew out his knee. Terrible injury. It was never quite the same. Smitty, Oklahoma State had this wide receiver, really talented guy. Right in the middle of the game, said, okay, I'm opting out now. Gundy didn't know about it. At least Cam Ward let the guy, at least Cam and Mario had an agreement.
Beforehand.
So, again, I'm not one of these Miami fans who said, 11 wins makes it a successful season. It was already a failure. You blew it. You didn't make the playoffs. So it's not, it's a good season. It's not the one he needed. The bowl game was irrelevant, but this is the game today, unfortunately.
Here's my point. Here's my take. Here's the take I got. I don't see. Then you shouldn't play these games. Like the bowl games got to be shut down then. And
Coach,
and having said
Coach, you're right.
what I mean,
Coach, I think coaches need to have some balls and say, okay, guys, look, I'm not doing any of this. Either we're going to be pregnant or we're not. If you play the game, you're going to play the game. But you got.
That's what my speech was.
But
I
again,
did that speech.
Realistically, I don't know if you could do that in today's game unless you are a Nick Saban type.
Steve, we got to stop. There's some sort of cream rolling downhill. The shit rolls downhill, and I want to know who's rolling it down the hill. Because if I'm the collective, I'm one of the first guys to roll the shit down the hill. I'm controlling the money. I want a return on my investment. Then I want the damn jersey front name to mean something, not the one on the back. We don't care no more about what's on the front of the jersey. We are going to school because of what's on the back of the jersey.
I'm with you. And again, this is why we should just make this pro football. Have contracts that are binding, and if you opt out, we take out half your money. This is for the protection of everybody. The institution and the individual.
Then we are losing the fabric of the game. Because I don't, as a former player,
it's gone.
I know. But here's why I got coaches and everyone else that I think would agree. As a former player and a coach, there's no game that I go into not wanting to win. No game ever. And that's game of life, game of fucking poker at Palooza. I'm not going in to lose the game. So I don't know how we can go out now and say, well, you know what? These games don't mean nothing. Let's go out and play. When you go out and say those games don't mean nothing is when you get hurt, is when you don't have any integrity as a character or a human going forward in your life. I see that is the setup for failure that these street agents and all these other people are getting their hands in on. And Smitty and I had a debate earlier, Steve. Why did you go to Miami to play a half of a meaningless bowl game and get out of the game after you broke the record?
Yeah,
that is a selfish act.
Okay, look, I'm not going to argue that, but here's the reality. And I remember tweeting about this. couple of years ago where I said Miami plays in a meaningless bowl game, huh? And a couple of Miami fans came at me.
Yeah.
And I said, let me ask you something. If it's so meaningful, why are players not playing? It's funny. I never got an answer for that. But the problem now is I think the coaches have come to the realization, you know what? What does this game really mean? 18 of like Ohio State last year had an excellent team. They lost to Michigan. And by the time they played Mizzou, that team was unrecognizable. Now, a lot of those guys ended up coming back. But I'm not going to lie to you. There's a part of me in the second half, I was a little bit intrigued saying, okay, what's next year's team going to look like? Elijah Lofton, I think, is going to be an unbelievable football player at Miami. I wish we would have gotten him the ball more. Josiah Trader looks like he's going to be the really next good Miami wide receiver. I wish he would.
Are we losing Steve?
Would have gotten more touches because at this point, I've already.
Is that Steve or is that me?
I think Mario's got bigger issues now.
Steve.
Guys, can you hear me? I think
It's
that's
cutting
you.
in and
I'm
out.
back.
There you go. You're back.
Yeah.
It was a little choppy.
Yeah,
We got you.
A little choppy. That was good now.
I'm back.
Yeah, you're
so
good.
My view was Mario's got to fix that defense. The defensive coordinator,
Steve.
Skidry, to me, you keep him around. Good luck with that.
Steve, let me ask you though, if I go in, I just told Matt, I don't think it has to do with the coaches anymore. I don't believe there's anything there's no such thing as development anymore whatsoever. And I would argue that Dion's really not done a great job. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying it facetiously. I just talked to it, and Matt agreed, and I think Smitty agreed actually to the point I'm making. I'm not saying that he hasn't done a good job. What I'm saying is, can anyone go in now, bring in a band of 80 guys, and go from 1-11 to 11-1? Are we really judging you on what you've built, or are you just taking guys? Because we're not recruiting high school. Let's just be honest. So the high school level kid not being recruited is where the foundation lies in football coaching. So if I'm not developing high school kids at my institution, you can't call me a developer of men anymore.
No,
I'm just saying.
Coach, this is now roster building year to year. That's the game. Even Dabo is now going into the portal. Okay.
But is that coaching? Is my point. Is that coaching anymore? Is that managing like a CEO? It's a business now.
It's still coaching. Dan Lanning coached better than Mario Cristobal. And he brought in a lot of new parts. Brought in Jamie Caldwell, tackle from Houston. A couple of his really good wide receivers. They're transfers. Dylan Gabriel, he's a transfer. I'm just telling you, Coach, I get it. We don't have Ed Reed, Sean Taylor, and Ray Lewis out there. But when you cannot line up correctly and understand leverage, okay, and understand what motion is supposed to do on the back end of a defense, we're talking about football install 101 in spring practice, and in game 13, you have an issue. Mario Cristobal says something. How you do anything is how you do everything.
Everything. Yep.
Well, Mario, defensively, we couldn't do anything right.
Let me throw a caveat. I got to throw a caveat at it.
That's on him, and yes, that is coaching. It's not just a bunch of players who aren't good.
Well, it's not about them not good. What if I said I got a bunch of great players and I'm coaching 101, install 101, and these kids refuse to listen or take it to the field because they're worried about the next bag of money and what school to go to next? That shit starts when the portal opens in spring and summer.
You know what gives you leverage, though? Playing well. These guys didn't play well at all. They didn't.
That's my point.
I mean, I really think college football needs to just say, look, we're not amateur sport. It's not college football in 1973. Make it with contracts. Make it with extensions. You know what? I'd even go all this way. Have trades. Have a waiver wire. Cut people. I mean, you really want the accountability and to have some leverage back to the institution and the program. And all these people saying, defending Cam, though, I will say this, that the players for years were exploited. Right, they were. Cam wasn't. See, that's where I'll say, well, wait a minute. Cam actually got paid. What are you talking about? So you can talk about every other player that never got paid over the table, not under. Yeah, that applies to them. It really doesn't apply to Cam, though.
Yeah, he got paid. He got taken care of. Yeah, he's good. So
I just don't get it. I think every year, if you're looking forward to what our spring team looks like, which is not going to be the fall team either, by the way, I think we're setting ourselves up for failure as a fan base, as a ticket holder for certain schools. Even in the NFL, Pat McAfee's viral right now because he said, screw the Colts. When are the fan bases, like the Steve Kims of the world, going to say, you know what? I demand more. I'm a ticket holder. I pay money. I help the program. And I got a guy that doesn't want to play the second half for what's on the front of my jersey, not for the back. When are the collectives going to say, well, screw you then? I'm not paying you no money if you're not going to give me a lead. You haven't won a bowl game in 8 years, Steve. That should mean something.
Their last bowl game win was Mark Richt's first year. They played West Virginia. That's Brad Kaya's last game as a Hurricane. And Miami fans always rip Brad Kaya. And I'm like, why do you rip Brad Kaya? All he did was leave his body on the field.
How long ago was that? How long ago?
That was 2016.
So 8 years, 9 years.
Yeah, and so, look, the bowl games don't mean as much as they used to. I mean, Coach, I'll be honest with you. I've only watched 3 or 4 bowl games. I watched over the SC A&M. I watched, obviously, the Miami game. Then I watched Colorado BYU. And then I'll watch probably all the playoff games. I'll watch that. But I really, to me, the bowl games now are the beginning of winter and spring conditioning leading into spring ball. I know you hate to hear that, Coach, but there's a realization even from the programs.
No, but that spring ball team you're referring to is not even going to be the team that you see next season.
You're right. But what do you do if all your guys just opt out? What do you do?
Well, no, what I'm saying is we gotta nip it in the butt and say, all right, either you're on a 2-year contract with my institution.
I said that.
Or if you don't play
this Coach, you know, nothing I would do if you're not going to play the game, no matter what type of year you had. Now the young guys are going to hate this, but I don't give a shit. If you're not going to play the game, you don't even get to go on the bowl trip. You don't get to get the fancy sweats. You don't get the gift bag. You don't get to go to Disneyland. You want to sit out, sit the fuck out. But you're not being part of the team activities. You can argue that you earned it. No, you earned it by playing. That's where I'm a little bit hard line. You don't get to get those fancy sweats and be on the sideline and all these people pretend like you're doing this noble thing. I would just say thank you for your service. You can start your NFL draft combine prep. Anyway, we have a bus to catch. Bye. Right?
Steve,
that's me though.
Let me ask you this, Steve. You brought up a good point about the bowl games being meaningless. At what point do you feel like that started to become that? Because in my opinion, it happened when the 14 playoffs started. I think as fans, we thought if you're not in the 14 playoffs,
that accelerated it. Smitty, that accelerated. A couple things happened. Look, Christian McCaffrey was the first big-name player to do it. Also, an extension of that, one of the Bosa brothers got injured early on in his last year at Ohio State. I think their third game on. I think they played TCU in Dallas at the Cowboy Stadium. I remember watching that game on press row at a fight. He got injured, and he made the announcement a week or two later, hey, guys, I'm out. I'm preparing for the NFL draft. But what really accelerated it was the Jalen Smith injury. And that really told people, like, oh my God, this kid lost millions of dollars. Guys, it's a football game. Football things happen. You know, I was there when Will McGahee blew out his knee in the Fiesta Bowl. Everyone knows the risks of playing football, Smitty. You certainly did when you played.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And that's my point, Steve. That's why you got to finish the games that are on your schedule. Like, I just don't understand. If I'm going to pay you, number one, this is not – if we're going to call these kids grown now and we're going to say they're professionals is what they're saying they are, right, then you play the damn games. You clock in and clock out like everybody that's on a salaried position because you're on a salary now and you're going to be giving me my get back. I want some return on my investment. Would
you have the same mindset if you were a player's agent? Like, if you're Cam Moore's agent, are you telling him, hey, you got to play the whole game? Or are you thinking differently?
No, see, that's the problem. That's why there's a difference between an agent and a street agent.
Right, facts.
I believe Cam Moore's guy is a street agent. I'm just telling you. Yeah. I'm not going to say the next.
I think he's a marketing agent.
Yeah, he is, because I know Weddle had him.
Here's another thing that Miami does that I like. If you are in good standing with the university, because I know players that have done this. If you are an athlete that's in good standing with the university and you did not finish out your degree, let's say you left early, something happened, they allow you to finish out your degree. They don't charge you. They're like, hey, you're on the universal scholarship, I think is what they call it. But if you pull something like this and you just pull the plug, I say, okay, well, then you're not getting that either. There has to be a penalty.
That's my point.
As Coach likes to say, you are making adult decisions, which in turn, in theory, should come with adult ramifications. Now, I don't know what you can do, Smitty, in terms of, do you make it deferred payments? Do you give them half the money in increments and then the other half when they fulfill all their obligations? I don't know how you do that. But again, we need to get out of the guise of this being intercollegiate amateur athletics. It's not, at least not football is. Maybe volleyball is, maybe softball is, maybe cricket is. Division I football at the P4 level is not.
I think some NIL money needs to be incentive based. You know, guarantee X amount, but then the back half or back whatever, if you make it to a bowl game and play in that bowl game fully, you'll get, you know, the last 250,000 or whatever that amount is. To me, that's
Smitty, here's my take on the agent question you asked me. If I'm a real agent, then I don't suit up in the game at all, or I play the whole game. I don't suit up, or I play the whole game. I'm not advising my client to get his feet wet and then pull him out because the water's too cold and not go back in. That is a bad agent, because you're either going to do it or you're not, because there's a bad optic out there, and we've seen too many guys drop stock because of what they did off the football field. I can't depend on you. I have narratives of this. Caleb Williams just went through this narrative, and now he's on the sideline like this. And
so
everyone's
maybe
like,
you think playing a half or 3 touchdowns, 400 passing yards is worse than not playing at all?
Not playing at all, right? I mean,
say it again. I hear you.
You think playing one half, which Cam Moore did, through 3 touchdowns, I think damn near 200 passing yards, you think that's worse than not playing at all?
Have you ever had some bomb-ass head and she didn't let you finish? Yeah, drop the fucking mic.
Call blue ball.
Mic. Drop the fucking mic. I'm not talking about it no more. Don't start something and not finish the shit. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, but look,
it's better than
I enjoyed that first half. I did. I was like, this is good. It was a microcosm of the whole Miami season. Great offense, terrible defense, poor special teams, and I kind of had this sinking feeling, we're gonna blow this, especially without Cam. I just knew it. But I said, but if this spurs Mario Cristobal to make a change in his defensive staff, I would take the big picture play, because Miami winning a Pop-Tart Bowl, I mean, is it really serious when you have a big Pop-Tart mascot doing the fucking crip walk on the 50-yard line?
No, but that's my point. Then don't even go out there. And Mario Cristobal, though, Steve, if I'm Mario, when I address my team, as I told Smitty earlier, hey, man, listen, this is going to be the plan of attack. We're going to go in here with Emory. What's his name?
Williams.
Emory Williams. He's going to be our guy. All right, let's go. Cam Ward, we appreciate your services. You're going to go be a first-round pick, and everybody goes hype. We get hyped for that. Those 2 reasons. Our whole team is either all in or all out. I'm going to see the demeanor of my players when I make that announcement, Steve. Now, the other flip side, I'm going to go in there and say, you know what, guys? Cam's going to play a half, and he's going to break this record. Now, we're going to go with Emory after that, okay? But if it's a close game, Cam's not going to come in. And I'm going to see a dejected half of the roster, and then I'm going to see a team that's going to be like, what are we doing here? I'll know the plan of attack as the leader of men. I can't do that. I got to go in with one narrative. There's got to be one directive, Smitty or Steve, from the leader of men. I'm just telling you.
I completely agree with you, but in today's game, as critical as I've been of Cristobal on certain things, this one is a tough one, because Cam has meant so much to this team. But I'm with you. In retrospect, if part of me, if you would have said, let's say we all got into a hot tub time machine 7 days ago, and they said, Steve, Cam Ward's not going to play at all. You guys are going to ride with Emory Williams and see what next year's team's going to look like. I would have said, great, because I want to flip the page. Cam Ward can do no more for his draft stock, because it's not going to hurt his draft stock. Let's get over that, too. The NFL will not punish a guy for protecting himself in this particular atmosphere.
Not anymore.
Environment. They're not.
I agree. I don't think it at all.
I mean, if there was ever a game where Damian Martinez should have had a 300-yard rushing game. And by the way, shout out to Damian Martinez. You were slandered by our own fan base. You are going to be a hell of an NFL running back. That guy was a great player for us. You should have got the ball more this season. Anyone in the second, maybe late first, that needs a bulldozing, wrecking ball, dial him up. And I would have liked to see it, but again, I'm just a fan. I'm just a crouching tiger on my couch watching the ball game.
And Steve, I'll be honest with you.
I think what can you do about it?
I'm with you, but I think this is a narrative and an optic that no one discusses out here. Miami, in all fairness, has been a bad football program for quite a while.
Very mediocre, no doubt.
And Cam Ward, on half of your fan base, is looked at as a god that resurrected a bad football team. Can I be honest here? No one wants to discuss it. Hey, Cam Ward, you left Wazoo to win one more fucking game at Miami,
hold on.
homie.
Miami won 10. I don't think Washington State won 9. I think they won 7.
No, they were 8-3 at one point, so they either won 8 or 9. So
Wazoo struggled down the stretch last year. They did. I know they blew out Colorado, but they won a couple more games.
But you get my point. Like, we're not leaving. We're leaving for I can see. I'm leaving for this. But you gained two more games.
Here's the thing. Here's what Cam Ward got. Cam Ward, I believe, is draft grade.
They were 5-7 last year, weren't
they? They were about a 500 team, Smitty. Look that up. They were not an 8-9
last year, if I'm not mistaken. Look it up,
man.
No, you guys missed my point. Wazoo won without Cam Ward. What are we talking about?
Well, John Mateer's pretty good. Mateer's pretty good. But here's what Cam Ward got out of this. He got to play with a much better offensive line with NFL guys, at least 2 or 3. He got to play with the best slot receiver in the country. Good set of backs. He went from a 3rd or 4th round draft choice to a guy that people are saying is a top 5 pick. So he did get something out of it. This was a mutually beneficial relationship, Coach.
I'll be honest. Can we be clear here? His draft stock was from last year, Washington State, not this year.
No,
I'm just telling you.
Coach, if it was that high, he would have never came to Miami. He would have stayed in the draft. His draft grade was a 3rd to 4th round grade last year.
What I'm saying, no. I agree with you. I'm saying what he put on paper on film last year at Wazoo is what got him to where he is right now. Not just this year at Miami alone. Last year set him on a catapult like this. He now got to pick and choose where he went because the debacle in the Pac-12 that eliminated a conference. And this guy was like, hey, I'm going to go somewhere. And Miami ended up being the place. He was on the radar from Wazoo, though. It wasn't like he was nobody from Incarnate Word.
I'm with you, but look, John Mateer is a hell of a quarterback. Oklahoma's getting a good one. I don't know who he's going to play with over there. They seem to be an empty cupboard, but that's the game now. And look, I am not a fan. I think there needs to be changes in terms of the transfer portal, just allowing guys to transfer every single time without even sitting out. You have caused anarchy and chaos. I don't like it. There is no roster development. You are right about that, Coach. And I think certain players have to realize you're just better off staying at a school 4 or 5 years, get your degree, and move on with the rest of your life. You're not, and not all of these guys are getting 6-figure NILs. That's the other thing people do not realize. They make it sound like every player's getting $500,000. They're not.
And we got to address the silent tripods and the fucking idiots in the chat. He didn't play against NFL competition at Washington State. The Pac-12 was the best football conference in America last year. What are you talking about? These guys
was good last year.
These guys just don't understand. The Pac-12, by the way, is how many teams in the national championship playoff this year?
Arizona State was in it.
Yeah. And Colorado won 9 games who left the conference.
Colorado won 9 games. By the way, Oregon is the number 1 team in the country. So I don't know. I think the Pac-12 actually went on a high. But look, Mario Cristobal now has to self-reflect. I heard there's going to be a staff change or 2. I've heard a few things that are interesting. I hope he does the right thing. If he sticks with the current makeup of the defensive staff, he's going to lose the fan base. Not that he cares, but you're the one making $8.5 million. I'm just a fan. I have no say in this. But let me just tell you something.
By the way, the ACC is fucking awful. So I don't know where you're comparing the ACC.
Right.
In a
this was a very weak. This was a relatively weak Miami schedule. But let me just say one thing about the Miami defense. When guys who really know football that actually break down the all-22, guys like Roman from Orange Bowl Canes, Hurricane Jay's out there, shout out to him. Lance Roffers, Hurricane Vision. These are guys, Steve-O. All these guys know football. They actually look at the All-22 and they explain it. What went on this year at Miami was a fireable offense. All you needed to be was slightly below average. We're probably in the playoffs. I'm not asking for the 2000 Ravens. Really, you were historically bad. And I just look at this thing. It went beyond players because I remember at the Georgia Tech game, me and my buddy Roland, and Roland's out there. Hello to you, Roland. There's this older black gentleman who was with his wife, and it was really, he must have coached the game because he's just like, oh, here comes the motion. We're out leverage. Like he's literally calling out the place and don't have enough guys on that right side. And we're like, what? This was not something. This was football 101. Now, here's another thing I'm going to say. It's going to upset people. We need to get smarter football players. Our football IQ ain't that good. We may have to recruit nationally. We may have to get players that have a smarter football intellect because motion kills us. Shifts
Steve,
kills us.
that's a discussion, man.
Unbalanced lines kill us. Because our guys have
JB's point as far as not developing players, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's the discussion.
That's part of the 7-on-7 culture of South Florida, according to some people.
Nah, it's not. Here's the problem. It's the fucking 7,000 kids in the portal that's being recycled. See, nobody wants to talk about it. I have the same football IQ that we call it FBI, football intelligence, that left Alabama for a reason, is now going to Miami, and we're expecting him to understand football better now. No, you're now getting into a new culture is all you're doing. You're coming to a new place, and I'm going to have to reteach you what you learned at Alabama? It's not going to happen. You're not getting the organic high school kid anymore. You're getting a 7,000.
Hey, Coach, here's another thing I want to leave. The final thing on Miami. There's a cornerback by the name of Xavier Lucas. Looks like he has an NFL future. Had a very good year at Wisconsin. He's a South Florida kid. It's a big thing because I think Wisconsin's trying to block the transfer portal entry. I think they're going to claim tampering. Miami's all up on that. I know guys on the message boards that I trust that I've gotten to know. Shout out to Lenny. Go get a 4. It's Kane's Insight. This is a guy that should be working in football. This guy could look at an 8th grader and tell you in 5 years that guy's going to be like his batting average is unbelievable. He's like Brad Holmes. I've always said, why are we now trying to poach Wisconsin guys when they played in our own backyard? What does it say about our own current evaluations that we couldn't see Xavier Lucas 3 years ago and say, you're going to be a goddamn Hurricane. You're not going up to Madison. See, and I've tried to get this guy on. I've tried to get this guy meetings so we could at least help our staff. Can't get anywhere. Maybe we ought to look, instead of trying to poach all the time, maybe we ought to evaluate better. This kid went to a South Florida high school. He was never a secret. People were openly talking about why aren't we on him harder? Again, I think our problems go far beyond Cam Ward not playing a second half of a football game.
Well, here's the problem. And I know Smitty has to leave. You got to get out of here, Steve. Here's the problem I want to discuss real quick. I don't know if you saw Jim Moore put an ass whipping on North Carolina at UConn in a meaningless bowl game.
Hell of a
meaningless bowl game. Now look at what he tweeted out today.
A simple note to the schools and coaches that have blatantly broken NCAA football rules by tampering with our players in the last 24 hours. We do know who you are. We will pursue all avenues to hold you accountable. We are excited that we've built a program where coaches have to cheat to beat us, and we will protect that program. Think hard before you tamper with our players.
Smitty, I'm going to be Kimpston White. Asian Charles, yeah. Snitching good. Start snitching. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We wearing them tennis shoes. Yeah, you motherfuckers. Yeah. I love Charleston White, by the way. Love to interview him. But anyway,
we both do.
I have said this. Teams need to start putting it out there. Hey, XYZ coach from this university, why are you reaching out to our players? What type is this? There are no honor among thieves. Snitching
I don't know why.
Good. It's good for college football, and it's good for the community.
Hey, Smitty, you got to go.
Yeah,
I know you got to leave. Smitty, you got to go. If you got to jump out.
Yeah, I got to jump, man. Steve, appreciate you as always, man.
Yeah. Talk to you later this week.
I'll see you next week. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, Steve, I got to be honest. This is the problem, though. What he just tweeted out is the problem. And I don't know why you haven't named the name, Jim. And I know Jim well. I like Jim. I would have straight up said, Syracuse, I know who the fuck you are. And I'm just telling you, there's no snitching in this. If you're going to take my kids that I worked my ass off to get to my school and rebuild a program, I'm straight up telling you. This ain't even snitching no more. I'm just straight up telling you.
Can I tell you something? When you are a major school that has to continually go into the transfer portal as much as certain schools do, that's a reflection on your own evaluations and lack of recruiting. It is. I'm not saying that no one should be or everyone should be Dabo Swinney, because look, it's like free agency. If you're going to be a professional football team or baseball, football, you need to use free agency. But
hey, Steve, how long you got, Steve?
I got another 15, 20 minutes. I'm good. I mean,
all right, hey, let's do it right. Let's bring our main man in. It's only right to bring him in with his intro. Our main man, Super Bowl champ, Shaun King, joins us. Shaun, what up?
What's up, man? JB, the great Steve Kim. What's going on?
What's going on, Shaun?
Hey, the world's going crazy. Got a lot to talk about today. I don't know where we are in the world, Shaun, but Cam Ward, who you and I have broken down, discussed, parents reached out to me in a strange set of events with their agent last night. I showed Steven Weddle, like, you know these guys, and found out it was his agent. They were set to come on the show this morning. They waited and listened to what I said, which I told them I was going to say exactly what I'm going to say with you on here, and you get a chance to rebuttal this. And on the first show out there, and then you can let McAfee and everybody run with it, maybe Whitlock, whatever. They refused to come on, and then they called me a liar because I said Cam Ward made $8 million, which I didn't say. But anyway, these are the street agents that I can't stand in the business. Where are you at with this whole Cam Ward thing right out the gate since Steve is on here, sitting out the second half after breaking the record? To Steve's point, this is the world we're living in. Where are you at as a former player and coach in the world we live in with this decision?
So I'm going to take emotion completely out of it, because at the end of the day, I really don't care one way or another as far as how it pertains to Miami. I didn't go to Miami. I don't have any vested interest. I was raised like this: players play. Mm-hmm. And I always felt as a quarterback that part of my obligation was to see everything through to the end. And it fascinates me that these new generation athletes and handlers, whether it be parents, agents, for 707 coaches, why do they think they're smarter than the 100 years of people that came before them? Oh, we're going to play in the bowl game, so it looks like, we're committed, but we're not going to play the second half. Oh, we're going to sit the bowl game out because we don't get hurt. Players play. When you start something, you finish it. I'll never forget this. I took Kenny Pickett off my quarterback bowl because he sat the bowl game out. Because I just believe to play quarterback, you got to be wired a certain way. It can't be selfish. It can't be self-centered. You think last year, JB, this time, what were we hearing? That Caleb Williams wanted a percentage of whatever team drafted him. Making all these demands. Like, to me, Cam is a less talented version of Caleb Williams. And in a lot of ways, I think Shedeur Sanders is a less talented version of Cam Ward. So my advice to Cam and his handlers and family, whoever it is, I don't know the young man. All I've done is evaluate, his game. I'd be hesitant to select him late in the first round because of his antics.
Woo!
I definitely don't think he's a top 5 pick. I think he probably will go in the top 5 because of the draft being watered down this year quarterback. But if he's hearing me, This is a former black quarterback who is telling you, cut the antics. Like when he goes to the sideline and slowing down before I get out of bounds. You know, there was an opportunity in the bowl game for him to get backside to a check down, and instead of resetting his feet and making an accurate throw, he kind of stepped back on his heels. Yeah. You know, like he's doing in the
Show this video, baby. Show the video Sean's talking about. Right. This shit right here is fucking unbelievable. This is a joke. This is a mockery.
Like, watch this.
What are we doing?
And you know, he probably thinks it's cute and it's not that big a deal. But because I've been on a Super Bowl team in the National Football League, I know what it takes to lead a locker room, to fight through adversity, to have guys believe in you. I downgrade him for stuff like that. And the only encouraging thing I'll tell him is it's self-inflicted, so it's fixable. So I know that's kind of a rant, but like two things to take away from this. Cam, cut the annex, and new players, stop trying to reinvent the wheel. I mean, the blueprint has been there. Players play. Go play.
Yeah. Hey, right? Steve, this is my point to you guys both. Like, we got to stop playing these games then, because we're going to get guys hurt that aren't protected, and then we're going to get guys that are out there that are the 99th percentile, Shaun, Steve, are guys that don't make thousands or millions of dollars. Hey, only 1%.
JB, here's my pushback on the injury thing. So when these guys skip these games, right? Are you gonna work out for the combine?
Yeah, that's my point.
So every day that you go practice the short shuttle, or you get on the vert max, or you go and run your conditioning, man, it's a chance for you to get hurt, to do something. Like, so unless you're just gonna sit idle until now in the draft, I mean, every time you walk out the door, you can get hurt, man. It's a mentality. It's a mindset.
Hey, Steve, this is the issue. Here's the issue I have after talking to Mr. and Mrs. Ward and their agent. You can tell me all the things you want me to believe until you're blue in the face. But what I see, to Shaun's point, is contrary to your whole belief that you think Cam is this, and this. He might be the greatest kid. But what I see right there is a shitbird mentality from a quarterback. I'm just telling you. And what you show me is more than what you tell me.
Let me just say this. And once again, this is the greatness of me. Shaun has been said stuff I've said the whole year. I'm not one of these Miami fans that worships Cam Ward. I've actually said a few things that's upset certain people. Cam Ward is not the greatest Miami quarterback ever. He's not Jim Kelly. Let's get over that real fast. The stuff that he has done, I've actually been more critical than any Miami fan. I like Cam, but everything Shaun said, and we sat together, Shaun, we watched the Louisville game together side by side, and you were pointing out mechanical difficulties or shortcomings that he had. I had end zone seats for the Cal game. He played a terrible first 2.5 quarters. I said that to you, Coach. He was missing guys left and right on the checkdowns. He's the reason why they were down 35-10. The other thing is some of the stuff that he did, like that backside hit that he took against Duke late because he wanted to set a record instead of handing the ball off. I thought that was incredibly selfish. Just run the clock out, get clean, let's go to the next game. And I've said this. I don't believe this draft has a bona fide Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, John Elway, Troy Aikman. I don't. But will they be overdrafted because of the scarcity and value of quarterbacks? Yes. There'd be a lot of other drafts where Cam and Shador would be early second-round draft choices. Because once their games get dissected, I believe, Shaun, a lot of these NFL decision makers are going to be like, God, we're actually glad we don't have a top 5 pick.
I think the smart ones will be, but they don't evaluate position well. Let me say this, because if Cam and his family are watching or they see this, I don't want them to think that I'm anti-Cam Ward. I've never met the kid.
They're watching this motherfucker right now. I'll tell you now.
He may be a great person. What I'm saying is, and Jay-Z said it on a song once, not to make Jay-Z God or anything, but he said something very, I thought, insightful on a song. He said the most addictive drug in the world is to look in the mirror and see that you're somebody. And sometimes when you're inside the bubble of that celebrity, you can't be honest about the actual narrative that your behavior creates. Like, so my advice to Cam, and I just said it, cut the annex out. He's super talented. He's got more arm talent than Shedeur. He's a better athlete than Shedeur. He just got to cut the antics out. Like, just get down to being a great, consistently elite football player and stop all the extracurricular.
Well, Shaun,
layups.
What Cam Ward has to do is understand, play within structure and on time. When he does that, he's excellent. He really is. When I look at Shedeur, at least half those facts he takes are on him. It's not the offensive line. Both of these guys are going to run into something. There's a perception that they're really athletic. Let's be honest, because they're black. They're going to run into the same problems that Caleb Williams is facing this year. You're not that athletic at the NFL level. You're not.
And in my evaluation, remember I said, to me, Cam's a lesser version of Caleb, and Shedeur's a slightly lesser version of Cam, meaning playing style. They play just the same type of game that Caleb, but neither one is as athletic. Neither one has as big of an arm as Caleb. And you see how Caleb has struggled. If you look at the rookie quarterbacks that are succeeding, I mean, Penix looked damn good last night, first road start. He throws the ball from the pocket. Jaden might rush for 127, but a lot of those are design runs. They're not, when it's time to throw the ball from the pocket, a lot of Jaden's stuff is within the structure on time.
Don't forget Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been programmed very well by Peyton. He's had a good year.
But here's my point to you, Shaun, or Steve. Steve said there's no Breeze, Manning, Lux, or these guys in the draft. I'd argue there's not a Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, or a Drake May in this draft.
Ooh,
that's how far we've come. I'm just telling you.
I don't disagree with that. I take some heat from Miami fans because I have the nerve to say I don't know if Cam is a top 5 pick. I mean, really, no. I look at him. He's not that big. He's got good arm talent. I do think he's a good locker room guy. I've heard really good things about him in the background. When he plays within structure and doesn't try to be Joe Cool, as you pointed out, Shaun, he's actually really good at playing within the design and the structure of a play. You're going to have to clean up some things. And the first time he does that thing where he tries to jog out of bounds, I'd be like, buddy, come over here. You do that again, you may get your head ripped off at this level, and I'm not going to even cry about it.
And let's be honest, though, because I don't want this. I just don't want somebody to see this and think that, I don't know how JB feels, but I'm sure we'll find out, but that me and Steve are anti-Cam or Shedeur because they're both better than Zach Wilson, who was selected 3rd in the draft. And when you look at this draft, even outside of quarterback, this isn't a real top-heavy, like, bunch of superstar kind of talent in this draft. It's some solid players, so I think they're both going to go top 10. I think the actual, depending on who has what pick, will determine exactly where. But when you look at, if not them, then who else for a team like the Giants, the Titans, the Raiders, like some of these teams are quarterback needy, the Browns. I mean, it's not like there's a Malik Neighbors sitting there or Bajan Roberts. Well, Gentry's really good, but it's not that kind of draft, in my opinion, where it's a whole bunch of non-quarterback superstar, players.
Hey. Don't forget Travis Hunter.
Well, he's going 1, in my opinion. Right. I think he's going 1.
Here's the thing. I think the Giants went in there and were like, listen, Drew Lock, we're going to pay you some money if you go out here and fucking ball out because we just watched Shedeur and Cam take a shit. And we're not drafting them motherfuckers anymore. So you go out here and ball out. And fucking Drew Lock just did all kind of shit nobody's done all year in New York. And the Giants go beat the fucking Colts and put them out the playoffs. So I'm just telling you, I don't know how you draft Shedeur or Cam at 1 in an ailings bad organization like the Jets, the Giants, the Panthers, the Jaguars, the Raiders, and expect them to have flourish. They're not going to flourish. They're going to hit the wall. Caleb Williams went to a team that times 10 multiplied the talent around the quarterback position where they didn't do it with Justin Fields. And he's shitting on himself. He looks horrible. So what are you going to do on a team that only has Brock Bowers if you're a Raider or only has ETN and who they got? Zay. Brian Thomas in Jacksonville. These teams don't have no infrastructure to develop them around a quarterback who's like we're talking about. I'm just telling you, it's going to be a bad draft.
Can I say something? This is the biggest deficiency of This is the biggest deficiency of 90% of the NFL teams is their inability to get the quarterback position right. Like, so you can have whatever opinion you want. Cam and Shador are probably going top 5.
No doubt. I'm not saying they're not.
Hey, I tweeted this out last night, Steve, JB. The Bears could be sitting right now with Jaden Daniels and Brian Thomas Jr.
Woo!
Instead, they went Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze.
Get Coles out of there. Get Coles out of there.
I can one up that. You could be sitting with Justin Fields at quarterback and Joe Alt at tackle, and still got you Jonesy.
Oh, by the way, guys,
Moore and Keenan Allen.
We got to point this out, and I think this helps the cause in terms of Shador and Cam. If Anthony Richardson passing for under 50% can go top 5, those two guys will probably
absolutely.
Now
and I'm telling you, watch how bad. Hey, watch how needy these guys are. I'm telling you, and I want to say it right now on the JB show. When Jalen Milroe goes to the combine and runs sub 4.40 and jumps 40 on the vert and does
running
a
back
backflip after throwing the ball in shorts, I'm telling you, he's going to be the guy that's the late riser.
You know what I would do? No, Shaun, I'm going to be serious with you. You know what role I would play with Milroe? Old school Cordell / Stewart. I would create a special hybrid position for Jalen Milroe. I always thought Cordell should have just stayed a slash. I thought that was his most effective position the first couple of years. Slash Milroe. I don't think he's a down-to-down NFL quarterback.
I'm telling you. I said on the show.
I don't either, but I'm telling you, when they see him in person, JB, have you ever met him?
They're going to fall in love with them. They're going to fall in love with the Combine Warrior. No doubt. But this ain't American Gladiators, as Bill Parcells.
I'm just saying. I'm so pissed off. You got rid of Justin Fields for this guy, and now you're seeing the antics on the sideline with the Caleb Williams and the shit show that's going on there.
Coach, everyone knew what Caleb Williams was, and he hasn't let us down. That's it.
Steve, they haven't won a game since Cutler got arrested. So anyway, hey, real quick, I got to ask you guys both about the Colorado situation. So in the meantime, Michael Vick has been hired. Deshaun Jackson has been hired. Never coached before, either one of them. We've seen the Deion Sanders effect, Shaun. Good for black coaches. Well, I don't know if they're coaches. They've never coached before, so I guess where are we at with your take on this? Because I got to be honest, I don't know if what Deion's got it, to me, either be all in invested as being a football coach going forward, or he's going to continue to look like a sideshow getting out-coached by real coaches in meaningful games. He's played in 3 bowl games and has been clearly out-coached in all 3 of them. 2 at Jackson State, one by Kalani at BYU the other night. It's clearly Colorado had more talent, Shaun. Let's keep it funky. BYU outcoached them in every facet of the football game, from special teams to offense to defense to when they ran the football, when they play action. And that quarterback at BYU is, I've been saying it, the number 1 quarterback in that division. He's the best quarterback in that league. Best quarterback in that league, in my opinion. Best quarterback in that league, in my opinion. Where are you at, Shaun, with can Dion do it? Can he fully invest in being a coach and not a player's coach, sort of speak, social media savant, and fully invest in this thing? And at some point, he's going to have to beat a team that means something, Shaun, to be taken serious. And I want to know your take on this, because I think we're hiring guys because they're figureheads, not coaches. And that's the social media world we're in.
Well, listen, because it's not about football. It's not about football. It's about raising money, right?
Business, yeah.
So, I mean, we've never talked about Norfolk State or what was it, Delaware State that Deshaun Jackson went on any show we've been on until they hired Mike Vick and Deshaun Watson. So, from a branding standpoint, that's a win. There will be people next year that tune in to find a Norfolk State game, maybe only a quarter, or a Delaware State game, maybe only a quarter, just to see how Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick are doing. And at the end of the day, if that's the route they want to take, that's the route they want to take. As far as Dion in Colorado, Dion hadn't changed. Don't he got a reality show with Roxy that's about to debut?
It's a talk show. I don't know if it's a reality show. I think it's a talk show.
Right. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Prime, I think Prime's overachieved at Colorado. I'm not going to act like Colorado was this perennial conference championship contender. I mean, he's made them relevant, got them to a legit bowl. They won 9 games. I don't think he can sustain that success minus Travis and Shedeur, because I just don't think, and I've said this from the beginning, which is why I thought he should have left. I don't think you can get enough good players to Colorado to win big.
Coach,
And
I have a
that was
question. You think Prime is in Colorado next season?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't. I
I
think there's a part of him that wants to prove that even though Travis won the Heisman and Shedeur's his son,
right. He's more than just 3 players. I get it.
I think after next year he'll leave Colorado. I think he'll be there next year.
That's fair. I think we need. I think Coach Prime's been great for college football. He's a polarizing figure.
Absolutely.
He's a lightning rod. I wish Jim Harbaugh was back in Michigan. We need these type of guys. Anyway, guys, I got to get going. I'll be watching the rest of the way. Good seeing you, Shaun.
All right, see you later.
Hey, JB, the power of Prime. If Dion wasn't at Colorado, nobody in America that's not attached to the university might have watched the Big 12 game this year. The conference was that bad.
I agree, but I don't think Dion's back.
Where's he going?
I don't know, but I'm gonna be honest. Why are coaches leaving?
I think he's back next year. I think he wants. I think there's a part of him that wants to prove. He is losing coaches though. He lost Phil Lodeholt and his DN's coach to Mississippi State.
That's my point. Why are you leaving, dog? This is Big Bad Colorado, homie. This is Deion Sanders. That's why I went there. See, a year ago, Shaun, these 2 cats right here said the reason they're going there is Deion Sanders, and we're going to do something special. And a year later, you're leaving? The guy that you said was going to make you so special? I'm trying to figure out. There's no way these 2 leave, in my opinion, because of what Deion has done for the game. 2 black coaches, by the way, are leaving another black coach to go play for a white coach or go coach for a white coach. I'm going to be honest. Something's been said here, in my opinion. My gut tells me, hey, I'm getting ready to exit. You got to go get this bag. Because I think Deion will look out for his guys and say, hey, SEC pays this money. We can't match it right now. You need to go. I can be reaching, but I'm just telling you, dog, there's no way you leave me. If I'm Dion and I'm building something special, Shaun, I'm keeping these guys, right? Unless I don't want them.
So this is an interesting topic, JB, because of course the money plays a role, but it's hard for me to believe that if Lodeholt really wanted to stay, Lodeholt more than Dancy, and the only reason I say more than Dancy because they got sapped there off the field. So that's an easy transition if because they had 2 D-line coaches. So if Dancy wants it, it's easy to bring Sapp, out of the box. The Lodeholt situation is 2 things. First of all, Mississippi State can probably pay more money, but coming off of the success Colorado had, I'm sure it's not a salary Dion can't match. I think this is a quality of life move. Because, see, Lodeholt been with Jeff Levy. He was at Central Florida. Like, their last 3 stops, they've been together. And having been with those Art Briles guys, the quality of life on those staffs is really good. Because those guys have ran that same system, since they first got into coaching. They're not going to be there to 9 o'clock at night during the week. You ain't got to worry about Levy and those kind of guys. Not that Dion cuss, but you know what I'm saying? Like, berating you or nothing like that. Like, I think there's a known destination in Starkville where Lodeholt can go and say, listen, I'm going to get the O-line, I'm going to be left alone. I don't got all these former O-line coaches in the building, talking to this player, talking to that player. Like, that's the one thing that's interesting to me about Colorado. I don't know how much fun it might be to coach there. When you really look at the staff in its entirety, I mean, it's a lot of non-full-time coaches there that have coached, and, those guys ain't just walking around without an opinion and without being involved. So I bet there's some, I would say, just give me my position and leave me alone that goes on there.
I agree. I don't think that's why people leave there at a pretty high clip. I'm just saying that's why I think guys are leaving for other jobs. I just don't see. And I don't know. It's going to be hard. I want to see what Dion does without his kids, Travis, and these. And let's make no mistake about it. Dion's the reason those kids were at Colorado also. So I want to be clear. Like, it's his kids, but his kids and Travis came with him to Colorado. So there's a reason why he's an attraction. And he's going to get money, and he's going to be this famous guy that's coaching. I just want to see if he can sustain it, and really is he all in for this long haul of coaching? Because we know, Shaun, this isn't just a figurehead job, man. You're gonna be out-coached by a team that has a bunch of old fucking Mormon kids who are that program isn't the BYU program without Kalani, with Kalani, is a program that you go there for. It's not about Kalani. It's not like Colorado going to Prime. There's only a few schools in America: Army, Navy, Air Force, BYU, and maybe you can argue a few others, Shaun. I don't know. But other than that, it's a mercenary business now. Dion came in, won an 11 program, brought in 80, went 4-8, and now 9-4. So is that a great job? That's what my question is to you. And I'm not picking on Dion or Colorado. I'm asking you for all these schools in America right now. If I'm going Indiana, did Cignetti really do a great job, or did he just bring in 80 the same way as Dion and everybody else and never really played a big time? They didn't even play Penn State in their own division. They only played one team, and they got waxed. I want to be clear. Is this just a mercenary borrow job description now when you're called head coach at the big time level? I don't think there's any development of whatsoever. I believe the high school kids are being screwed over. They're not developed at all because there is no kid. You're pulling the same 7,000 portal kids to go from Alabama to Miami, and I try to tell Steve that. Steve, FBI, football intelligence, you say is low in Miami. It's the kids that are in the portal. They're not developing no high school kid. They just got the same kid from Alabama that wasn't very bright on the football field, and now you got him. What do you expect to be different? I'm just telling you, Shaun, we got a huge problem, man. I haven't talked to you since the JUCO rule, but I'm just telling you, this is going to be the Wild Wild West times 10, man.
It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, and I think that's why you're seeing certain coaches, move away from the game. I mean,
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
So Jim Larrañaga just stepped down in Miami, and I was researching some of his comments, and he said something very interesting. He said, I knew it was time for me to leave. This was 2 years ago. Remember, it was Miami, FAU, San Diego State, UConn in the Final Four.
Yeah.
And he said, I had my exit meetings with my players after the game, 8 of them. And he said they all said they were leaving, and I was like, you don't like it here? They say, no, I love it here, coach, but I'm getting offered more money to go somewhere else. And as a coach, man, how can you be committed if in the back of your mind you think all this hard work is just going to walk out the door, 6 months from now? Now, there's a duality to this that's, like, not good for the development of the player. Like, I just couldn't imagine, believing in these kids coming out of high school. And it's not like they're not getting some money where they're at. Like, almost every school now has a collective. So they're getting something above and beyond full scholarship, room board, tuition, and all of that. To just consistently come in there and be like, hey, Coach Key, man, we love you, man. We appreciate everything you did for us. You believed in us when nobody else would, but JB's offering us $100,000 more than y'all can, so we're going over there. Like, that would get old real quick.
Shaun, this whole narrative of he's too old. Stop, man. Show me an under 30 or a 35-year-old coach who's won a natty in basketball or football in the last, I don't know, ever. Show me. I want to wait for this young so-called guy that's won. The last times I've checked, Nick Saban's dominated college football, even in this era. Kirby Smart, Calhoun in basketball. Now you got Hurley's son, who's 50. Okay, he's not 25. He's our age. I want to be clear. Y'all need the old heads to still coach. Y'all think you want the excuse as to these young guys are the way to go. They haven't done shit. And you need the old voice to tell these young kids that we have the experience in life. You need to listen. But we're taking that from us because you don't want the old guy. You want the players coach. Well, guess what? The players coach is enabling these kids beyond belief because they're kissing their asses and telling them sweet nothings that they think they need to hear. They don't. They don't need to hear it. They need to hear the truth, not be told bullshit lies about this is the money you need to go get. This is all bullshit, man. You need the old coach. I'm just telling you, but we're going to eliminate it, and you're going to see how bad the product is becoming, which we're seeing right now, not only in college, but in the NFL. Look at the guys roaming the sideline, but we'll talk about that on another date, Shaun. We got to move on real quick to end the show, Shaun. Monday Night Football preview real quick. The Lions are all in. I would bet all money on them. They have to win, right? They have to win if they want the 1 seed to. And then it's basically a playoff game next week when they play Minnesota. I would assume the Niners are done. I know they'll go out professionally in a professional manner and play hard. I don't think they would not play hard tonight. I just think they'll be outgunned and outmanned. And the Lions are starting to get healthy that people don't want to talk about. They're actually gaining some players back that they lost. Where are you at with this game tonight? Powered by BetUS. And the line, I want to say the line is pretty substantial, Shaun, but where are you at tonight in this game?
You got the line in front of you?
Yeah, it's Detroit minus 3.5. Over unders 50.5.
Yeah, I'm taking San Francisco plus the 3.5 points. That line is screaming bet Detroit.
The hook? Because of the hook?
No, just as it's 3.5. I mean, if the number was 7.5 or 8, people would be like, that's a lot of points. Let me take the Niners. But they put that thing at 3.5, man. That's like, I'm taking the Lions. This is a no-brainer. So if I was going to play the game, I probably won't be on the side. I would play the Niners. I might get involved in some player prop stuff, but that's a sneaky little line right there.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Lions big.
And they might.
Huh?
They might, but if I'm Brock Purdy, man, listen, I'm trying to rally the troops, man. I got to finish strong. This stuff I've been putting on film, I can't get paid, with this film. So I know he's going to be out there trying to put his best foot forward because he had a rough couple weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going Lions big if I was a better tonight because they got to win to keep up with Minnesota, who people don't want to talk about. I said it when they lost those 2 in a row and then they went on another 9-game win streak afterwards. I'm the one that called it early in the year. Dan Orlovsky's now on ESPN talking about he called it. No, you watched my show, motherfucker, and called it.
What he called?
Ride or die, Shaun, real quick. Tonight's games. You just said it. You called it. Ride or die. You said the 49ers. The question was Lions versus Niners. I'm going Lions. You're going 49ers on that ride or die?
I'm riding with the fight and Brock Purdy tonight to cover the 3.5.
All right, ride or die then. Jared Goff, Brock Purdy.
Jared Goff, hands down.
Ride or die. Dan Campbell, Kyle Shanahan.
I actually trust Kyle Shanahan more on game day, but I like Dan Campbell more from, in this case, Tuesday to Saturday.
Ride or die. Niners defense, Lions defense.
Bang, bang, Niner gang, man. Come on.
Yeah, Lions getting healthy.
When healthy, I'm taking the Niners. Like, if the Lions got an Achilles heel, it's that secondary. They've gotten blitzkrieg multiple times this year.
Yeah. Ride or die. Over 50.5, under 50.5.
Ooh. I won't bet this pregame, but I would side with the over. I just think both teams are kind of going to put their best foot forward and kind of be aggressive in this game. So I'd go over, but I wouldn't bet it pre-flop. I'd wait. And if you like the over, hope like it starts slow when you get a better number. Or if you like the under, like it starts fast and then you get a better number.
Ride or die. Minus 3.5 for the Lions, plus 3.5 Niners.
Ride the plus 3.5, baby. A lot of pride in that Niner locker room, man.
I'm taking the Lions and the -3.5 all day long. They're going to cover it. Just telling you, they're going to cover it. Shaun, go for a few more minutes, Bailey, real quick. There's so much in the news, all this shit going on. To our point earlier in this college football thing, mercenary business, Jim Moore is out there tweeting right now because cats are trying to pluck UConn's roster. This shit is crazy. Miami's head coach of basketball leaves. Jim Moore is talking about you plucking my roster after we beat North Carolina in a bowl game. You're all going to call meaningless. This is why guys are getting out, Shaun. This is why I don't want to coach. This is why kids are not getting proper information, dog. They're getting street agents to tell the Cam Wards of the world to opt out of the second half of a football game after you've been here all year long. You got $1.5 million or plus whatever you got to play football here, to represent what's on the front of my jersey, not on the back. And yet we're allowing them to keep getting away with this shit. I just think football just lost its there's no more. The fabric of this whole thing has been torn apart, man.
This has got to absolutely suck for Coach Morrow, because he probably can dodge the transfer portal a lot of times because people don't really see UConn play. So he gets a standalone game. People are tuned in because Belichick's now at UNC. And to be honest, UConn was better across the board from a talent standpoint than North Carolina was. So now he's got all these random personnel guys that are looking at the TV like, hold on, who's that kid there? Who's that kid there? Who's that kid there? And I can imagine the frustration level because he knows he don't have the NIL to match any of these deals. And if he didn't play in this bowl game, probably half of the interest wouldn't even exist because they wouldn't know. That got to suck for him. There's nothing you can do about it, Jim. I mean, you can cry about it, tweet about it. I feel your pain, dog.
Has Wazoo officially made the interim head coach, or are they open? Bailey, do you know that real quick? I'm curious because I believe
they hired South Dakota State's head coach, if I'm not mistaken, Jimmy Roberts or something. I want to say
they are. It's official.
Yeah.
Because I'm shocked that they didn't come after Jim Moore, who's from Seattle. Like, that's to me a no-brainer to go after Jim Moore, bring him back to the West Coast where he's from. That's crazy. He's on the North Pacific. He's on the East Coast in the Northeast and doing what he's doing at UConn. I don't know why that's interesting to me. Jimmy Rogers is the head coach at Wazoo, so it's interesting to say the least.
They played pretty good. They played pretty good for a while.
Yeah. Last night, real quick, I got to discuss this. Did you watch the Falcons? Michael Penix throws his first touchdown through a BB to put him in overtime.
I watched every play of that game.
What the hell are they doing with the clock management at the end of this game? I'm trying to figure it out. Why did you not call a timeout? You got up to the clock. You hurried up. You had 30 seconds. You run it down to 15. I do not understand what's happening, man, in this coaching profession on what I'm watching. And I'm glad Tom Brady, who I think is the worst analyst ever, I think that it's I'm glad he called it out. He said the analytics are not discussing the facts of the matter of the humans that are on the field and the actual things that happen time-wise or taking and leaving points on the football field. I'm glad Tom Brady called it out. This is shit that analytics cannot dive into, Shaun.
So here's what I want to push back just a little bit, not on you, but the narrative that this is a Raheem Morris problem. Like, as an organization, when you decide to go to an analytics-based model, then those decisions are being given from upstairs. There's somebody up there that's saying the analytics says go for 2. The analytics says let it run, don't use your timeouts. Like,
nobody knows that guy. Nobody knows that guy, and they're not talking about that guy today.
It's a faceless thing, and the problem is Ra hadn't won enough yet to kind of put his foot down and say, no, I'm going to go with my gut. You know what I'm saying? Like, think
He
about
got
what
Super Bowl with DC.
but think about what they're coming off with Cousins and how Cousins is playing, and kind of going from being in control of the NFC South to now needing Tampa to lose. So I mean, he's in like a precarious situation.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I mean, me to be honest, if you're gonna hire me as your head coach, I'm gonna do it my way.
Me too. You gotta give me autonomy, man. I gotta have full autonomy, Shaun. You can't coach without full autonomy.
You're gonna fire me if your way don't work. So I'd rather do it my way, and I earn my firing. Like the perfect example is Las Vegas. Like AP scratching and clawing for his job now. They won 2 in a row, but from a big picture standpoint, that's the worst 2 wins in the history of the organization.
Yeah, it's bad. We'll end the show with this, Shaun, real quick. The Rams wrap up the NFC West last night. McVay, in my opinion, should be in the consideration of Coach of the Year and what he's done there after the start of the debacle of injuries they've gone through. Both wideouts down for a long time. Stafford missed a game. They fought back. 21 O-line shifts they've had this year, more than any other football team in NFL. They've had to rotate that O-line 21 different ways. Guard had to go to tackle. Tackle had to go to center for a minute. The center had to go to guard. They had to move all guys around. They were missing a guy last night even, or Saturday. Where are you at with this Rams team? Are they a team that you do not want to play?
Oh, you hope to God you get the Rams in the first round. I love Stafford. I think McVay's a great coach. I think Les Snead's probably the most underrated GM in the NFL. He doesn't ever get mentioned because he's kind of a guy that stays behind the scenes. He doesn't seek the spotlight. But the job he's done with Jared Verse and all those draft picks, replacing Aaron Donald and that Super Bowl, birth team, I mean, hell, he don't get enough credit. But for all the reasons you just mentioned, they can't win a playoff game unless just everything falls in their favor, because at this point, Stafford really can't move. Not that he's ever been a super mobile guy, and behind that line, I don't. I mean, they're winning right now on defense.
So you don't think they can? You don't think they scare anybody?
No, nobody. Not to me. I will say this though. Shout out to that crowd in LA. Now that crowd is starting to become a problem, for the Rams opponents, and I think the Rams clinch the West, so they get a home game, right?
They will. They'll be the 3 seed overall.
So they do have that going in their favor, but
so next week's game versus Seattle means nothing. Bailey, can you help me out real quick with the NFC picture? Is Seattle eliminated or not?
Yeah, Seattle's been eliminated from playoff contention as of last night.
Tampa's winning you in. Tampa's got the Saints at home.
So yeah. Washington's in. Washington's in.
Should be.
The Rams are in. Eagles are. Yeah, Washington clinched last night.
I think the only thing remaining in the NFC is who wins the NFC South, right?
Yeah,
it's Atlanta or the Tampa. That's it.
Tampa wins, they're in. If Tampa wins, and Atlanta, Tampa's got the Saints, and I think the Falcons got the Panthers.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler and the Saints are not coming to Tampa and winning, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Shout out to my guy Baker Mayfield too. Baker been balling.
He has, and I'm with you on the Jordan Love take. I said it a while ago.
Man, I don't know what you got going on.
I said it a while ago. Everyone loves him. I like the kid. I think he's good and all, but they got a young, unbelievable wideout core, in my opinion. No one talks about. He misses too many layups.
They do.
And I think the Packers are a one-and-done team, too. They haven't beat anybody, Shaun. Haven't beat anybody this year. They lost to the Eagles, the Vikings twice, the Lions. They can't beat nobody.
I will say this.
Everybody else.
I don't know what LaFleur, like I get wanting to play a certain style, but Love doesn't flourish in that run the ball, first and second down, stay in third and fourth the whole game. He don't flourish in that. He's a better player when you open it up, spread it out, throw the ball 35 plus times.
Throw the ball deep.
Yeah, that conservative approach that LaFleur been taking, because they've been playing the catfish of the National Football League as far as opponents. It don't work when you play those better teams. So,
Shaun, if I gave you $1 million and I said the Lions or the field, who you betting on?
The field. Tampa can beat anybody. Tampa's already beat Detroit this year. I'm just telling you, like, people sleep on the Bucs. Tampa is dangerous. Tampa's got a legit running game with Bucky Urban and Rashad White. Mike Evans is balling. They're gonna get Cade Otton back. Baker Mayfield's playing a high level. And listen, outside of some waffles in the secondary every now and then, Tampa playing some hellified defense right now as well. So I think the Eagles got a chance. I'm assuming that they're just being precautious with Jalen, and he's not like super like hurt. I mean, they're dangerous, but I just don't think Detroit's defense is like so good that I would take them versus the field.
All right, last thing, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow on the show, start the show probably with, and I want to ask you since I won't have you till Friday, and it's a new year, Happy New Year to everybody. Do you play Saquon to get the record?
100%. 100%.
Rex Ryan said absolutely not. He should not even suit up. Dan Orlovsky said he should play a half, like fucking Cam Ward. He's 101 yards behind Dickerson. Here's the thing. You didn't get it already, and there's an asterisk to it. Eric Dickerson did it already. By the same amount of games, dog. You got 2,000 in the same amount of games, though. That should be the feat right there. You got the game. You got your 2,000. You're in the top, I think, 10 of all time. Dickerson's record is a moot point anyway because everybody's going to say, well, you needed an extra game. Why even play it? Why even play it?
Let them say it. Listen, when you when you finish playing that game and you walk off the field for the last time, not saying this year, but whenever Saquon's career is over, fast forward 5-6 years after that, you want to come back to wherever you go and be announced as the NFL single season all-time rushing yardage leader, Saquon Barkley. You go get that. And I'm going to tell my offense, everybody playing until Saquon get 102 yards rushing. So if y'all want to get out at the half, then guess what? You better go out there and block your tails off because we getting this young man this record. Period.
Yeah. I don't know. If I'm a serious contender and I want to win a Super Bowl, I wouldn't play him, but I get what you're saying. Players play,
JB. Players play.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm the same way. Hey, I just said Cam Ward should have played or not played. Like, don't go half stepping. So that's my point with this. You better play if you're gonna play. Don't fucking go in there for a half.
Hey, shout out to Cam Ward, man. You got all the talent in the world, young bro, man. All you need is just to be normal. Like cut the antics, cut all the this, that, and the third, trying to change the narrative, man. It's you. It's so easy to correct because you can self-correct it. I like Cam Ward. I like him.
I like him too. Everyone I know said he's a great kid.
I don't trust him in between the lines though. He just
everybody
does
says he's a great kid.
Got to fix.
You can be a great kid all you want. You get bad people around you though, Cam. Get rid of your shitbird street agent. Hey, Shaun, it's been a great show. We'll see you this week. Happy New Year. I'll be on the yacht New Year's Day right after the show. I'm to the water. It's supposed to be 75 degrees here on the water, Shaun, Wednesday.
That's what's up, baby. I see you shining over there. All right, shout out to everybody. Happy New Year. Y'all be safe. If you're going to drink, get a driver, Uber, have a plan. All right, see you guys Friday.
All right, brother. Happy New Year. Hey, great show, man. Appreciate you guys all joining us Monday. It is Talk That Talk Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow stronger and better than ever. And we'll see you tomorrow for Talk That Talk Tuesday. New Year's Eve tomorrow. So make sure you join in on the realest show on Planet ERF. Pound that like. Head on over to CoachJBStore.com. Get you some new merch. We got it. And we'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Appreciate you all. Peace.